Hey chat. Oh, the mic wasn't muted. How's everyone doing? Quite late today, sorry about that. Just having some trouble getting up. So we have a werewolf experiment today. It's what I think 2 builds I can make without doing the neutral. If I did that I could make the healers, but impossible to find a group for that. With the werewolf, and I'm not gonna work on the range match squad. I don't think it can be improved. I tried last stream, I tried Darkon, but yeah, I'm not too sure about Darkon. Didn't feel like an improvement necessarily. And River, how you doing? And Paladin, hello. Love and poor in ESO, goal is such a pain in the ass these days. Yep. I know the feeling. Like 7 mil left, I think, at the moment. Let's go do Ritz. Okay, let's see what we need. I think it's gonna be kind of simple. I'm gonna use the same gear as last time. So I don't think there's been any additions that would make it better, but skill lines we change. So last werewolf build is from before subclassing. So it should be kind of simple. Just change the Derek summoning and we keep the dark magic and where use Torque on werewolf? With Elite Talk? No, I don't think it's worth it. Always best off with Oaken on werewolf. You run Oaken and you run the because you get a lot of buffs from your werewolf abilities, right? And then you run the Mora Scribe. But there are some people who prefer Torque than Oaken and Moras. Well, I can check that on editor. I'm pretty sure you get more damage out of the Moras edition. And more tankiness. Or is it more tankiness? No, I don't think it's more tankiness, but you don't really tank on werewolf. More fail like hit and run kind of build. Let's see if I can find it. Too many builds. Hey, Simpo, how you doing? Hello, hello. So I think it was Moras. Moras, Oaken, Roxa. One Piece Trainee. And 3 Piece Endurance. So this is what I had previously. It's 13k effective power and 4.8. On 13.4 actually. It's with a bow because you still keep the major expedition. Don't think they fixed that. Now if we did Elite Torque. .8 goes to 11.6. That's a big decrease. So I don't think it's worth it. A bit cold today. Get comfy, play some Sekiro today. There's your will to live. That's a good game. Definitely. Wait, is this your first playthrough or you played before? It takes some getting used to compared to the other Souls games. Met all the FromSoft, but Sekiro was the one you missed. I see, I see. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, especially crit damage is going down if you do Elite Torque. And the max health goes down a lot. Let's go this back up, I think. Hey, Sticks, how you doing? Am I? Not bad, not bad. We're chilling. What is this? What's up, Didum? How you doing? Is that a werewolf? Looks like one. But yeah, this is why you run Organ. Like all of this is disabled the moment you slot Elite Torque, they fix that on the editor. So we have a little bit more sustain with Elite Torque. A bit more weapon spell damage, which doesn't scale any of the heals. But you lose a lot of crit sense, you lose a lot of crit damage. Very important on hit and run kind of build to just do a lot of damage really quickly. If it doesn't work, then you run. What else you lose? You lose like 1k effective power. Not worth it. And some minor buffs too. There's minor protection, but you gain 15%, so you gain a little bit of mitigation. But it doesn't matter. House in the sun. It's about a 1.5 second time frame. After you recast nets that it counts as a corpse. Let's use stuff like repentance. Ah, interesting. I did not know that.
May I be of service?
Trifecta later? Yeah, if everyone's up for it. Can do some later. Wolf was the only playstyle you never got around to trying. Always looks fun when done well. It can be fun, but it's very difficult to play. So I've been back to doing BGs for one day, which is probably not ideal for hopping straight into like werewolf builds, but it should be fine. Balsona or the other, whichever you guys prefer. What the heck? Why? Who has my endurance? Did I poly deconned it. I actually poly deconned it. I was like, why do I have an endurance bow? Oh, that's plus 25 transmutes. Great. We have to craft it again. Because endurance is really good on werewolf. A bit of heal over times. You don't have any heal over times really. You get a lot of health regen from the DT plus 15% and plus 30% from the bots. Hey, Blizon, how you doing? Hello, hello. That boss have buffs too. Just bosses to nuke. Okay. Wasn't side boss some kind of puzzle? By the buff comes to it, yeah. I just forgot what traits I had. Wait, do I have this saved? Would be the first thing I check. So I might have it here as well. And I do. I did have Roxas, okay. Do I have the bow build saved? Next question. Because I don't have enough armory slots full of this. No, this is some garbage. I forgot how this works. It's been too long. Okay, there we go.
Battle.
What do we need? We need the Roxas shoulders. And I think 3 needs chest, right? Wonder if I had only had reinforced. Versus das, yeah, but it's playable. It's playable if you play it right. Need to check the build editor again. This is why I don't like moving items. Sent Racy on a mission, activated and crushed it. Accuracy almost perfect, still some work to do. Nice. Very glad to hear that. So right now we're still using this, but let's see. I have mills, so I mean backpart doesn't matter. It's open. Infused, was it reinforced? Was reinforced, at least on editor. Got 3 imp and 3 Valve. That's on the stem then. And Roxa medium is on stem then as well. Be happy with it. I'm glad to hear. Just make sure you don't have the add-on today. Playing werewolf for the next 2 days. Yeah, no, add-on's disabled. Was disabled last stream too. Luckily it was disabled. Because we had a 2-death PG yesterday, or last stream. Enable it? No. Not today. Maybe next stream. For now, it's just build experiments. But I don't feel like tryharding even BGs at the moment. It's like, why? What do I get from that? I have probably best KDR on the fucking both mega servers. Or in a EU. Like, why would I tryhard BGs? Just to ruin it? Like, what's the point of that? That's one big issue with ESO for me at the moment, is that I don't have anything to really accomplish in it. Which kinda hurts my motivation to play it sometimes. I have rock. No, I had Gears this. Okay, so I can bank the Roxon. Roxa, and we had the trainee chest. Would you play BGs when you can save Granny Turtle? True. And get all the no hits in Vermin's mid. And then Mythic in Arena. And then you spend 40k USD to get the boat, and you flex on that. Great plan. Maybe not the boat part. You can skip that one. I'm gonna skip that one. Forming tickets for the free house. I've been doing that. I did it yesterday and day before. I just need to do the daily. I mean, we can do it now. Good reminder though. Because I do forget to log in sometimes. So it's very likely I forgot to do the tickets as well. Find anything in Verminsmith that isn't a fixed house purchase. I got the Battle Pass and the monthly funding because I thought it was the Battle Pass. But I did decide to support the game a little bit. It's so fun. Got 2 last piece for the house. Nice. Was fast. I had 10 tickets, so I have to wait until tomorrow. We have to also buy the endurance bow. I think it was sharpened. It was sharpened. Okay. Or I can just craft it with transmutes. So I have a lot of transmutes. Would be fine.
Hello, friend. Help support Oradon's elders for new life.
Do any fight anime moves with your dog character? Well, all of EU from what you heard. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit scared. Apparently he farms 99% of EU. I don't know if I can handle that. He would a 1v8 Camel. I don't know if I could 1v8 Camel. That might be out of my league.
Well struck. Happy new life. Buy me a drink.
Best player ever.
Good throw.
I will say what I always say. I wish this game had actual ranked PvP. Actual leaderboards to grind.
I don't feel.
Because if it did, there would be a lot more reasons to play the game for people who are competitive.
And you are?
And there would be a lot less, shall we say, a little bit outlandish claims being thrown around. It would be kind of win-win from both points of view.
You got me.
Experience of ESO delusion, can't even tell what's that here anymore. Same. And that is the problem. The problem with the solution. Respect is confidence. Funny how you can get first round in a duel tournament, still think you're top PvPer. No comment. No comment. Let's chat and bar with anime characters. Guys, you're trying to make some drama here. I see what you're doing. I refuse to participate.
The Nord woman from Whitehall looks like she can hold her meat.
No drama here. Just chilling. Then last place. What's up, Dakota Twitch?
What is it?
Hello. But isn't getting first? Isn't that last place, or if it's the first run? Or place better than last place? I mean, to be fair, if you are in a dueling tournament and you get like the winner in the first round or the eventual winner, that can happen. It can be gonna BS. But then, like, you shouldn't lose to the winner, you should just win. Like, also a problem with a solution, right? Joking, I know. Joined last place, couldn't even be the best first player. But that's all like harmless. I think the dude is just trolling with what he's saying. But I think what's way more harmful, like actually harmful, is as I wasn't watching at the time because I was doing trifectas, but I heard from Kamul there was some stream sniping going on again, once again. Same person who ran after Kamul was following Corellia around, sitting in his Twitch chat, is stream sniping shamelessly. It's a clown who I farmed the shit out of in ISD in the past and in Cyrodiil. It's some coward who's gonna stream snipe people who are new to the game or people who are playing RP builds. Dude who went negative in BGs? Yeah, it's yeah, that one. Yeah, I told you about it yesterday. It's crazy, like the people in this game. Isn't it strange that these people never try to stream snipe me anymore? Isn't it strange? They have to go after Kamul, they have to go after Corellia. They probably have to, like, they probably go after any PvEer who happens to go into PvP. But they never try that shit with me. Isn't it funny? I find it very funny. All one can do is try, don't give up on a dream. True. Don't summon the ghosts. The ghost cannot do anything. Like, you are the exorcist. Confess aside, if he's pushing to actually improve respected. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being confident, I think. As long as you're like not disrespectful towards other people, like you can like anyone can think they're like amazing and best players and whatever. Like I think that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you're a competitive person, you could say it's kind of natural to try to pep talk yourself in your head like that. But you can't be like disrespectful towards other people while you do it, because then you kind of cross the line into what is acceptable and like not acceptable behavior. Like, of course, if it's like friends and they're trolling each other, nothing wrong there. That's fine. But there's sort of a lot of randoms or people who don't know you and they just decide to treat you like shit because they're also almighty and amazing in their heads and better than everyone else, and that means that they can treat everyone like shit. I don't like that at all. There's a lot of people like that. That rubs me the wrong way. With Emercade Janet and you start stream sniping you, Then I turn off the add-on and treat it like a challenge. And if it's I'll probably only play some Giga Streak build that can streak for hours and you can all keep chasing me and it's gonna be fun. Very fun. People can confuse achievements with arrogance. Let the record speak for itself. Exactly, exactly. In the end, that's the only thing that matters, what you... like, what you actually accomplish. Like, a lot of people, they, like, fabricate accomplishments in their head. Like, oh, I play in a ball group, I farm people, I'm the best player because I do that. When it's like, you're playing with such an advantage compared to everyone else. But it doesn't matter. Like, things like this don't matter to people who want to just feel superior to others in their heads. Like, it's just fabricating stuff and trying to use that to, like, feel better about themselves. Fine line between bold confidence and god complex. Yeah, yeah. It's like with the anime boobs thing, like, I don't think he's, like, he and Kamul, like, they're obviously, like, they know each other, they're friendly with each other, so it's a lot more fine than if it was some random saying that about Kamul. Like, oh, I'm gonna 1v8 you and stuff like that. Like, that's just the, like, that's just banter sometimes too. Can't take it too serious. And I think Anime's that kind of guy. Like, he followed my channel, but before he followed my channel, he was talking shit about my tier list. Wait, let me find that. There is a comment from Anime Boobs, which I responded to in an old tier list. The Rockun, how you doing? Hello, hello. Take the new Crown Storehouse? Not yet, not yet. But I can never afford that. Like, I can barely afford food. I'm not gonna spend 100 euros in an in-game house. That's just not realistic. Let me find the tier list. I think it was this one, subclassing tier list. Which, by the way, it has aged quite well, I would say. I think it was this video, used to show the tier list in the end. The Storm Calling Assassination, Restore and Light. Dark Magic, okay, I like Dark Magic on a lot of builds. I think it's the one of the best options for sustain. Siphon is also really good, it kinda depends on the build. Maybe not S tier though. After like a little bit of play in Dispatch, I would probably put it in A tier or high B tier. Shadow I would put C tier. But this was before subclassing even came out, right? This was before any testing. And I'm quite proud how accurate it turned out to be. For healer, like, all of this is a little bit higher, of course, but the green balance is higher. But let me find the comment. This is back when people still commented on my videos. Now this has been kinda suds. Oh, here! I'm gonna zoom in. This tier list is very wrong. Well, care to explain why it's very wrong, so I can tell you why you're wrong. I never got a reply to this. I'm sad. I wanted to hear the why it's wrong, because it turned out to be kind of accurate. This was like many months ago, and I think he's just a bit of a troll. I think he's just a bit of a troll, because I think this is pretty accurate. Ja, diktaasti käydyn elolo. So I choose not to take it serious. If people wanna be like that, like it's just trolling in this case. But you have to know when it's trolling, so it can. I mean, I don't know if he cares, but if he like writes that kind of stuff to the wrong person that he doesn't know and they don't know him, like that can actually land you in drama. And if he doesn't care, that's fine. But just a bit of advice. It's like I didn't know him at that point, but I'm always willing to have dialogue and ask people like, why do you think this is wrong, and not immediately call them a retard. But sadly never got a reply. Cheerant, how you doing? And Rosamond, hello. Have to pay for anyone to be willing to take Kokra.
May I be?
I think Kokra got angry with us yesterday. I don't know why. Maybe we were annoying or something, but we got some trifectas yesterday. We did. I've buried it with some other stuff, but we did the everything here in Science of Italia. Was a bit rude. Yeah. Don't say anything. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't wanna. We'll just DM him about it. If anything. Don't tell me what's yesterday. Kukra fell in the hole at the last boss. Wait. Oh, that was, yeah, but that was on purpose, like we already failed the trifecta. It was just jumping into the middle afterwards. In a delusional, I am not going to say anything. Close to ruin the trifecta by pulling the side boss at last boss, then we raised a bit. Yeah, I think Kokra is not taking it that serious. Just a feeling, and nothing wrong with that, by the way. Like it's a bit annoying for the other people, of course, if you're trying to do a trifecta, but we eventually always get the trifecta, so I don't mind that. I come from a place where I've spent literally a year, twice a week, progging, or at least twice a week, progging Red Sail Reef. Over a year, only for the group to disband in the end. So I think like a couple of failed attempts in a 4-man trifecta is not gonna... That's not gonna move me one way or the other.
Hello there.
Corelia, how you doing? Hello. Be at some point, will there be a Christmas ornaments in it for Christmas? Not sure how I would do that. I don't know if it's doable, but we'll look into it. How you doing, man? I heard you had your first experience of the... not sure first experience, but there was some stream sniper shenanigans going on. From what I understood. Yeah, that's the it's the unfortunate side of the community in ESO. It's like there's people who know, like someone's playing RP builds or someone's new to a game and then they stream snipe you, but like they don't even try to fight anyone who just farms the shit out of them. It's quite interesting. Is farming RP stuff? Yeah, I hate seeing that happen, man. if I wasn't doing trifectas, it was in was it in BGs though? I mean, I could just go from him in BGs, but I would have helped out. Stream Snap isn't really good. Yeah, no, it's like an average Andy. There's a lot of average Andys. Oh, it was in zero, okay. To do the delves. Ah, I see. This guy just died. Well, definitely not stream sniping, he was just naturally in the delves. Every delve you went into. That's, I bet that's the excuse. Like, these people also like to pretend that they're not doing that kind of stuff. They're like, oh, I'm not stream sniping. I was it's just coincidence. I was just getting this guy shot here. I've been playing the game for 10 years, but I always wanted this guy shot at the same time as this streamer did. It's ridiculous. Just beyond ridiculous. Do we have one bot? Report them? I would, yeah, I would report people stream sniping. Even if these people are like absolute dog shit and get farmed, like they still shouldn't be in the game if they just go around harassing people. Like, some people don't care, like it's like they don't care about dying or getting stream sniped. But imagine this, like you're some PvE streamer or someone who barely does any PvP. Not speaking of Corelia or Kamul or anyone, but like someone who actually just does PvE. And you just want to have fun in PvP. And your first and only experience in PvP is some dipshit sitting in your stream chat and just on some dueling build just farming you. Would you want to do PvP in ESO again? No, right? So it's very fucking harmful for the game to have these people around. I would report them. I normally don't report people, but stream sniping is one thing that just shouldn't ever be a thing. Was the dude, oh, you know the my GTX person, you know the doormat in IC usually. That one. Clipped it for make a compilation. Positive boy. Yeah. Sorry you had to deal with that though. Usually it's like you have to stream at least like a year before you start getting stream snipers. I think even for Kamul it's kinda recent. And for me it was like a year before people start doing that, but you did it in record time. I would take that as a that's like an accomplishment. Yeah, you're like a threat to them. They need to stop you and your stream. You're doing too well.
You there. The Ivory Brigade has need of you.
They don't like that, sitting in their basements with their mediocre gameplay. After fucking 10 years of playing the game, they have to stream snipe. Debugged yesterday in BGs. The time the guy killed you. Oh yeah, that happens a lot. I don't report people debugging really. It's just funny. Usually they also whisper. And then you get content. That's fine, but people like following you everywhere on some dueling builds and shit like that. Nah. Report people, you get permaban, don't report anymore. I don't report anymore at all because it's just pointless. Or I haven't really had reasons to recently, but every time I report someone for a stream sniping or like stuff that actually should be ban worthy, and nothing happens. absolutely nothing happens. Well, it's usually stream sniping really, now that I think about it. And when people do that, it's only in Citadel, because they do it with a bulk group. They never do it solo nowadays, for some reason. They always need other people to help them. It's funny. What to do Stone Garden Trifecta run? Ooh. Good luck, good luck. That's a pretty tough one. I think it's one of the harder ones. The last boss is, especially the last phase, is very tough. But it can be very, very fun to do the trifectas. Very rewarding when you finally get them. Good luck. Good fucking luck. Yeah, we did that. Was it our first trifecta? I think it was. It's yeah, that person's also banned from this stream nowadays. I don't wanna talk about that. I will say at that point, I think it was just trolling and not serious, but that changed. Okay, we have everything, right? We have our endurance, Oaken, we have our Avu, get our ulti so we don't have to farm it at the start of the BG. I think we can queue, but we can also read the PvP Q&A. Oaken. No, we were talking about Torque because I saw it on Build Editor how Torque is worse than Oaken. PvP Q&A. Yeah, there was part 3 of the Q&A. It was actually released a couple days ago, but it's not visible on the dev tracker, so I didn't see it. But I saw someone made a YouTube video about it. And I didn't watch it because I wanna just react to things on stream and read them for the first time, so I have no idea what to expect there. Oh, there's also a new channel on Discord. Let me show it here. There is a stream react content channel. So if anyone has any things you want me to react to, feel free to post here. This is the Q&A. I'm gonna check it later. Did you like Gladiator 2? I didn't watch it yet. What's a bottom? I'll need to watch it at some point, but just on the backlog of many TV shows and movies I haven't seen it. Bolix, how you doing? What's Fallout? Yes, the first season. There's a second one now too, right? Haven't seen the second season yet. Wait, it's not 20 YouTube link. So they don't post something. Or maybe it takes time to show the thumbnail. I don't know what that link is for. I bet Shiden. 1 episode a week. Okay, maybe I'll just binge watch it when it's fully out. I like doing that. They would remaster Fallout 3 or New Vegas like they did Oblivion. That'd be great. Fallout 3 was my favorite. I know there's like most people prefer New Vegas, but like the setting of Fallout 3 more, and the story I think was better. With the Enclave and could do funny things to what's the town called? Megaton? 1v1 challenge. Okay. Which character? You want to fight the werewolf? Refund. Ah. Well then. Not online, why'd you redeem it then? Ah. What is the point of that? Okay, I have refunded. Brain lags? I see. I see. It's understandable. Okay, there's some reward things I didn't mark as complete or refund, so I'm gonna return some points. There's a bunch of hydrates, I'm not sure if I did them. The hydrate from 4 months ago, I cannot say if I drank water 4 months ago or not, so I'm gonna refund the points. I think Shrimpo got a bunch of points back just now. Okay, we have a Q-pop finally. Let's see how Avu works. Deathmatch, of course. Of course, has to be deathmatch. I forgot to change the skill lines. What am I doing? Okay, we can do one BG with Monosrock Werewolf. The skill line is completely pointless, by the way. Like you get magic and stamina, and that's it. That's all you get. I just have Adric Spear there. Get Burning Light, more weapon spell elements, more armor. Yeah, a lot better. But we can just test for a comparison's sake, I guess. Damage sigils. PV lobbies, because double XP. I don't mind that. PV lobbies, and we're on the werewolf character, so we can farm them on werewolf. And make them think that werewolf is OP. And then when they get into PvP, they play werewolf. And then you farm them when they play werewolf. Is that 5 head or not? Double, nice. Hello. Om nom. Oh, we can get resource back by using the hull. I forgot about that. Nice cloak. Very cute. Is the Trasset Werewolf? Yes. Om nom nom. Hello. Hit and run. Don't wanna fight outnumbered without stats. We'll fight now. A little bit too greedy. You have a lot of speed as well, you should always make use of it. Joink. Get that kill. Big owls. Wait for the roll. Kinda out of stem, but we're fine. Hey, that's rude. I think the fear should cost magic on. I think that would help Gulp a little bit. Or maybe not, maybe not. Because the heal is your only way to heal up really, and it's very expensive. That's why Dark Magic is so good. You get a lot of cost reductions there. Use the synergy. Swiperino, heavy. Spam all. Need one more killer. It's gonna be this guy. Some ball plate over here. There we go. GG. Hey, Skoro, how you doing? Hello, hello. So this is the old build. The one that can be updated quite a lot.
You there. The Ivory Brigade has need of you.
This should be the best kill line. You also get some cost reductions here though. But nah, I don't think it's worth 5% cost reduction. It's the only thing you get here in Dance Red. Just trying to think if there's anything else that's potentially better. You don't get Crux, so that you can proc that. Zero value there. Graveload was the one thing that would get you some damage with 10% dot damage, but I think it's the only thing you get there. It would buff the damage by 1.4%. No, 2%. Not really worth it, I think. Yeah, Adric is the best option. Just want to double check. Dark Magic is Storm Calling Adric. Best thing you can do on Werewolf. Get weapon spell damage, you get Burning Light. You don't get these two, but it's kinda whatever. And I guess you run Healing Soul then. Don't have the Hardened Wood anymore. So all we lose is 5% stam and magicka. In exchange for the Burning Light and 6% weapon spell damage and armor. I think it's a pretty good good trade. How was the damage without the sigil? Like 4K dot tick, basically. Or not 4K, 3K. 3K dips from the dot. White 4.8, decent. Always box the diseased as well. Actually 5.5k. Or 5.8. What the hell? It's with the sigil at the start. Okay, 5k, no crits, just everything blocked almost. This was probably Coron. At least I hope it was Coron. Not a lot of big owls this time around. So if you go werewolf, you can actually see the stats here. Twelve, 18, 12% crit damage. From the Charleston. Whereas Ordesvat would be 943 and 8%. So it's like plus 50% more value than Ordesvat. Oh shit, Jared and Shevson in green team. This was supposed to be a low MMR. See what sigils we have. Death sigil. I wanna go middle because I wanna see what sigil they have. They have speed. A team? Oh, it's domination, doesn't matter. No one wants to sigil. Okay, fine. Fine. I take it. And they have a healer. I think it's this guy, right? It's got the left-handers. Okay, we got Charmed there. Didn't realize. We have to do more heavies. Some line of sight. Okay, this BG is not quite as good. Fucking healers, man. Why? Why is there always a fucking healer? Perception. Dude. Just die. Oh, swipe. Fuck you, new heals. We're out of stam. All I need is like one more hit there to kill him. Oh, because I have wrong pots, that's why. Had the crit pots for some reason. I'm gonna eat this bolt later. See if we can kill the healer somehow. Probably not. It's just two fucking tanks tanking and healing each other. I can't understand how anyone in this game can complain about the BG format when the gameplay is like this. Just fucking healbots, man. Got him. You're next. Om nom nom. Werewolf stream. What's up, Pinkulta? How are you doing? We're updating the werewolf. The update compared to website build is just changing the skill line. Got him. As you can see, the damage is actually good on werewolf. You just have to play very hit and run. And you still can deal with like two people cross-healing each other, of course, but then again, like what build can? Maybe Acuity DK, and that's pretty much it. You can just jump in there. I should have probably dropped down. Okay, team is touch. How? I'm behind line of sight. Why am I getting hit there? I'm gonna dot up all of them, and we have to use our speed to get down. I could take this sigil. I'm gonna do a thing here. I'm gonna deny the sigil. And just in case I need to refresh the werewolf again. I just can't with these fucking healbots, man. We need more damage numbers. Gonna dot them up. And then we abuse also. And line of sight and running. Nice ulti, bro. Okay, fine. Fine. We do what we can. Oh, Giranit was spamming shields too. Disgusting, man. Actually disgusting. Healer. Shield support. Troll tank. What else? Okay, that's all. We could kill the other ones, but why does there have to be healers? We did not top damage, but very close to Sevson. Hola de pulpo, ¿qué pasa, amigo? ¿Cómo estás? Que tengas un buen fin de semana. Ha sido bastante bueno.
The Ivory Brigade has need of you.
hasta ahora por lo menos. Pero espero que tú también estés teniendo un buen fin de semana. Oh, you're on shield support? Yeah. No, I saw that after the BG. Shield support to the new guild runs around 60k health. Spam 20k shields, 30k ulti shield. Yeah. I mean, you can go all max health, you can do things like your volts, for example. There's many ways to like do shield support, and it's always just broken. Like any healer, if you build it properly, if you know how to build a healer, you're not trying to put daily curse on people or hunting curse on people and play some kind of weird third-party DD squishy healer, then as long as you don't do that, you can absolutely break BGs as a healer. You can be unkillable, more or less. And there's many ways to build that. Like we've done that on every class almost. On very different builds each time. Like Torque Werewolf need like 4k Mac recovery. No, you don't. You don't need that much. You just need to play more hit and run. Torque Werewolf is a damage loss compared to Oaken. There's a green skill style for the Infectious Claws. Oh yeah, true, I didn't change that yet, I think. Damage on the shields doesn't count? Might be top damage, true. I don't think Werewolf damage is the problem. You can't really, like, the problem with Werewolf is that you can't really brawl with it. You have to run very often, so you don't have infinite sustain for the heals. Janet is a hate watcher and stream sniper. Wow. Hey, what's Brett? How you doing? How much guys is go to snipe MRK? I see, I see. We didn't have damage shield either. We did a 9.1k owl. Despite of that. Wait, this water is not onion, right? No, it's a similar name though. I thought. I guess we do another one. I could change the skill style. See what it looks like. I think we already have one green. I think I prefer the green one. And this one... yeah, let's use the green one, sure. Penalite 5%. Also what I was supposed to check here. 5% we gain the weapon spellmans and the armor. How much armor is that? Actually a decent amount compared to previous PG. Like 3k armor from the passive. There was a skill style for the transformation ultimate that mind. No clue when it's coming out though. I'll probably have to get it. Chefson in red. Wait, isn't this a healer? It did stuff. 44k health. Ritual, no Lady Mundus. Might be a healer. Still. Crown food. Hope this upcoming class identity changes don't take away Burning Light from Werewolf. The best thing we've gotten in 5 years. I mean, I don't know if it's that impactful. It is best in slot, but I think most of the reason why Werewolf is so good, or well, let's rephrase that. Why it's so good on this class on Sork is Stormcalling. Because you buff all of the physical damage by 5%. You get regen without having to have a skill slot, and you gain 10% damage here. Burning Light, previous PG 5%. So while it's good and while the other passive is good, I think most value you get from Stormcalling, and then Dark Magic with the 18% cost reduction if you block, or 6% at all times. Which you kinda need because the heal is giga expensive. New bedroom in training room? Whoa. Let's keep that stuff in DMs, please. But I think of it this way, if they change the class skill lines when they do the class identity changes, like sure you might lose something like Burning Light or something like Atrix Spear, but you might gain something better in return. Like change is not a bad thing. Not in this case. Also, is there anything I might have overlooked? I don't think so. Like all of these recursive slot abilities from the skill line. Get max health. Max health is the only thing you get there. If we had Frost Cliff, we could get more damage on that. And block mitigation, but don't really need that. More burning damage. Just see how the Decay Avalanche passive works with Werewolf. Yeah, but keep in mind that these were data mine stuff. They're probably like very early iterations of the passives, and they will look very different in the end. Most likely. Why do we not get more people? Are BGs this turn? They have 7, we have 5 people. And second question, why can't we have like 6 people and they have 6 people and the BG just starts? Wouldn't that be better than waiting in the lobby? Because I believe we had the same won't call it conversation, but same complaints about the BGs when it was like stuck at 7 players on both teams and the BGs won't start. They could apply the same logic to lower player counts as well. Like just if it's 6 people, just start it like 6v6 or 6v7. Stuff like that. Okay, well, we don't get a BG. Rip. Trainer Ace, thank you for the follow. Thank you. Q's bucked at the moment. Maybe. Oh, we got an insta-pop. Is this PG gonna start? Crazy King. I had some coffee left, oh no. Okay, it's not too bad. We have one degenerate healer in red team. Like here would be great if you got like Cheernit in our team, for example. You just farm Haki, but I don't know if the rest of my team wants to farm him here. Hey, what's trainer? How you doing? Learning about the game, hoping to get it soon. Any tips? Are you new to ESO or have you played before? And what do you want to do in ESO if you know that? Yeah, do you want to do PvE or PvP? I kinda do both, but I do mostly PvP. Mostly battlegrounds is what we're doing at the moment. One of the PvP modes in ESO. The other one is Cyrodiil, is like open world PvP with like casual sieges and stuff like that. Hey Onion, how you doing? Hello. Inimus? What is Inimus? This is not a healer, I think. Yeah, that's just some Tonk. But they have the heals in the backline, right? I am very out of pause here. If it's just one guy chasing, we can kill him. I believe we can kill him. Get the fear here. Owl? Oh, he survived that. But he dies to dot there, so all good. Well, I was out of resource there. Kinda not doing what we're supposed to do, which is hit and run. Yeah, team is just a little bit outmatched here, I think. Or maybe we can do something here. AoEs, but they get healed. I want to get into MMOs and play Skyrim mainly. You'll probably have an easy time getting into ESO then. I think the questing is a lot more story-based than in most MMOs. It's kind of like exploring Skyrim to some degree. You'll probably enjoy that part of the game. PvP's like you can definitely get into it. It's my favorite part of the game, but it can be very daunting at first for a new player. So I would recommend probably playing Cyrodiil if you want to do PvP. But you have a lot to do in ESO, like a crazy amount. So it might be a while until you feel like you even want to PvP. But I do have some tips. I can explain more in detail after BG, because I need to show them. I need to show you what I mean. Because there are some mistakes that new players make. Very often. When it comes just to like exploring and stuff. The beam. I might be in trouble here. We can sprint out, because you're super fast as werewolf. In line of sight with the treat there. Okay, we get one there with the swipe, and we can get the other one too, I think. Can use the sinners there. Get a kill, nice. Is CC immune? Fear's not gonna do much there. It's a troll tank, but it's not gonna tank for long. It's my whole team. Try to split up some of them. I would like to kill Haki, but he's just gonna streak away. Yes, his team as meat shields here. Where the light's gonna go off? I wanna be in a good position before that happens. Hey Stoon, how you doing? Hello. More of a PvP play, not against PvP. Okay, you have a lot to do in ESO then. ESO's definitely got more PvP content than PvP. Like a lot of people play ESO for the PvP, but like over the years the developers have mostly focused on PvE. So you have like 10 years plus worth of content. There's things like the trifecta challenges and 12-man trials and 4-man dungeons. It's a solo dungeon, arenas, like lots of stuff. We can fear them and maybe try to get a kill here. A little bit greedy if they focus me there, I'd be dead. So we have to disengage there, I think. A bit low on stun there. Death Sigil is good. Can maybe go a bit more aggressive here. Not sure. He is dead. Gonna do what we can in this PG, but... Okay, he's dead to dodge. We're actually winning the PG. But yeah, on werewolf positioning is more important than ever. You definitely play this a bit more careful. We have a bot here. Let's get the flag if we can. We have a bot we use now. Let's block deep off the line. Two heavies, maintain this stam here. Have a little heal bot in the back. Would be nice to kill him, but he's gonna shake back to base. This is the kind of gameplay that people who prefer the 3-way BGs kind of participate in, by the way. You just let your teammates die, use them as meat shields and run away. It's sad. We have a bot now, so we can be a little bit more aggressive again. That was not good. I have major vulnerability from the Colo, so let's just disengage their teammates dead, so we get back to our team here, I think. There's a Death Sigil we could yoink before that. Maybe I can do something here. Let's find out with the Death Sigil. Can we get one kill? We can. Or did I get that? No, he survived. I'm probably dead here. Death Sigil's gonna run out soon. No, I'm not dead because we're fast. Zoom zoom. It's a troll tank. Dead troll tank. Om nom nom. Just fear them as we create distance. They're a little bit out of pos here. Yeah, I can stay here. Go to this side, because I'm out of stats there. Can we cleanse? I couldn't get the synergy. Fear him. Sally Streak is a thing. We have one teammate. Okay, if he died to something, I don't know what. Look like this is dead potentially. Let's get the Death Sigil here. Block the Tanister. Block the Curse. Block the Colo. We did get Major Bone though. It's taking a lot more damage right now. Just dot them up. For damage numbers mostly. Only can't get kills here because they have a healer. And there's a slight disparity in numbers there. The beat is gonna end soon. Just heal up. Okay, well we do 1.2 mil. Damage is pretty good. All things considered. Okay, let me reset now. Sorry, I had to look in there a bit. Who's better than you? Oh shit. I heard you stalemated that duel. That automatically means he won, right? Bad opinion. More for a PvP play. Oh, read that. 0 BGs. For some people, like if you like 0, you like 0. I'm not gonna be like, oh, ding dong, your opinion's wrong. It's not my opinion, but some people like Cyrodiil. I think bulk groups have ruined Cyrodiil. I think the performance has ruined Cyrodiil for me. But it is, for new players, it is the easiest way to get into PvP. You just join a group in 0. So if you're not individually super good at PvP, it doesn't matter in Cyrodiil. Whether you play in a bulk group or if you play in a faction zerg, it's a lot easier when you play with other players. There's less individual responsibility for doing well. That's the thing, basically. Except in GVG. People said your PC can run this game since you run Skyrim Anniversary at Ultra. With some lag here and there. Think that you could run it, or should you get it for your Xbox? I would probably recommend PC at the moment, because PC has more population, but I don't have a console, so I can't really say too much. Consoles did get add-ons recently, so that's no longer a PC exclusive thing. That would have been another reason to run ESO on PC before. So add-ons do change the game a lot. But yeah, if you're looking to get into ESO, I would recommend just taking it slow. Like don't try to rush to max level or anything like that. You have a lot of content to do. And I would recommend doing Sky Shards, getting skill points. There's an add-on called Urik's Skill Point Finder, if you want to know where to find all of them, but eventually you will want to have skill points. So I would focus on doing the group dungeons and the public dungeons. They're super easy, you can be soloed. Group dungeons maybe not for a new player, but I would focus on those and Sky Shards. And I would make sure to level the craftings as well. It's the best way to make money in ESO, is doing craftings. Because you get these, I edited them earlier already, but you get these dailies that are very quick. You just go to each crafting station, you craft the things and you turn them in. And that's like one of the best ways to make money in ESO. So I would definitely recommend leveling all the crafting skill lines. But yeah, I think your PC should have no problems with ESO. ESO's from 2014. So if you don't run it at max settings, at least on lower settings should be very, very doable. Scared for ESO declining numbers, what is your opinion? I'm hoping for the best next year. I can understand why they're declining with subclass update and like kinda light year content-wise. So it's very understandable that the numbers are declining. But I hope next year is gonna be better. At least from what they've said, it looks very good. Or very promising, let's say, for next year. The like new PvP zone and PvP progression system, and they wanna redo the overland difficulty and all these things. Like these are good changes. Did you try As of Creation, by the way? I did. I have my own problems with Ashes though, or not my own necessarily, but I don't think they should have released it on early access yet. They want to release next year, which is why I'm gonna be a little bit more critical than I would be otherwise. I don't like the world in SS. I don't like the... I think ESO does that a lot better, for example. Like, let's go to some random location with some NPCs. How about Stormhaven? Let's go here. I can kinda explain what I mean, like what SS is lacking right now. Right, so if this was SS of Creation, I would be here. I would be running into stationary NPCs that don't make sense in their environment. There would be some raven flying in place that's just randomly fucking elite in middle of nowhere. I would be riding around like this. The NPCs would not be moving, they would all be just doing nothing. They would have no animations, just standing still and be like, oh, farm me, I'm XP. This is a video game, this is not a game world or a universe. This is just a game to be played. I don't like that. That really takes me out of the experience. Too big and dead at the moment, yeah. And the little things that you find in SS of Creation, in the game world, there's these static NPCs. And they have some weird star system. It's like 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, and 3 star is like an elite, and you can be running around like in some like low level, supposedly low level area, and suddenly there's like a raven that's 3 stars. And it's just gonna destroy you. There's nothing that really makes sense. Like, why is this raven so powerful all of a sudden? It makes, like, it impacts your sense of progression as well. I don't like that at all. The questing is just very bad. There are things that I think they should have prioritized that they didn't. They prioritized things like endgame like PvP and node wars and sieges and whatnot, but none of that matters if people don't get to endgame. If the new players that you want to be playing your game give up before they reach level 10, you are never gonna have big fights and activity in all of these systems that you've like prioritized. I think MMOs should prioritize the game world, the leveling experience, and then focus on the systems in the end. Of course, like everything has to be good at the end game as well, but you can't skip the early game. You can't be like, oh, here, have some experience that's like makes the world feel less alive than Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind from 2000, or like Ultima Online, or some like super old MMO. And then like, oh, there's all these amazing things at the end game. Just play the game for 400 hours and you'll have fun. No, that's not gonna sell the game. That's not gonna be popular, you know? That's my problem with SS. And I'm very invested in the game, by the way. I backed it in Kickstarter, because they had some like really cool concepts, and they do still have really cool concepts. And I like a lot of the things that they say, but there are problems. So like, sure, it would be in my best interest, right, to talk about how great the game is, because I have a referral code and I spent like 400 euros in it in 2017. No, I just want it to be a good game, like that's all. Like, there's a lot of content creators who did the same thing I did, but they like put all their eggs in one basket and they decide, oh, I'm gonna make SS content, and a lot of them have like full crash outs and burnouts because the game didn't turn out to be the way they wanted. And others are coping and like lying to themselves and their audience. I don't like that. As well, if you're gonna start, you have skill points, skill lines, scribing, skillcraft. Yeah, there's a crazy amount of stuff in here. So, plan to make a Breton with greatsword build. Okay, so you wanna play 2/8s. I mean, you can do that. Breton is a magical race. So that's another thing. The races, they have a like, they either give max stam or max magic, or some of them give both. Like Dark Elf, for example, Kashid is a high wit race. But this usually determines like what where you put your attributes. That's it. Where you put your attributes and what sets you want to be running. So because Breton has Magicka, you want to focus on Magicka. All of your abilities, they scale based on that. So you can play a 2/8 Breton, for example. If you want to run like DC swing and like slow 2/8 kind of playstyle, you can do that. You can definitely do that. It uses stamina, but your Magicka is what determines the damage. Then you just get enough stam regen and you can play that. There's a lot when it comes to customization in ESO and what kind of builds you can make. How would you say an ESO player would feel the transition from ESO combat to SS? SS is a lot more tap targeted than ESO. The combat is not the problem in SS. I think combat is fine. I enjoyed combat in like classic WoW and other tap games. I have no problem with SS of Creation. I think the visual effects and mechanics and all of those are cool. And that's good, but the other problems they need to solve. So if you don't mind tap combat, or more tap targeted combat, it's not as tap targeted as WoW. It does have active dodge source and blocking, like ESO, but you do have cooldowns and a lot more abilities than ESO. ESO is 10 plus year game, while SS is alpha, but I understand you. Yeah, that's why I went to Stormhaven, which is from 2014. They haven't changed this zone, or any of these like NPCs and quest lines and stuff. Don't seem kinda cool so far, but also pretty dead. Yeah, that's the problem, it just feels dead. I know why it feels dead, because they want to make some Lineage or Arcades, I didn't really play those games that much, clone from like 2000 designed gameplay, but they took they also took all of the bad things about it. Like sure, I get that the like sandbox elements and the player versus player conflict with big battles and politics and stuff, you can have all of that. And you can have a world that feels alive, like Guild Wars 2, like ESO, like World of Warcraft from 2004. You don't have to copy the bad things about the failed MMOs from 2000s, early 2000s, you know? Like that's I can't understand why they would do that. How is Werewolf playable? It's very playable. Let's see, Burning Light 5%. It's not bad for a passive. Steven, you said you want to make Breton and Creature Build? Yeah, you can definitely do that. Well, impatient. Sorry, I'm just trying to read every message. I'm known to be a little bit slow with chat, especially after BGs. But sorry. Yeah, try to read faster. Action combat 2. There's active dodge rolling and blocking. Also, I kind of rant a lot sometimes. I do realize that. Just read the comments and not get sidetracked, but you look at no, I try to read everything. So if you ever send a message here as like 15 minutes ago, I will read it. So I don't want to miss anything. But I shouldn't be that much behind, hopefully. There's some rumor there's some sort of kickback going to content creators who promote as of creation. Any truth to this? Hey, what's Psilosum? What do you mean by kickback? Do you mean like they benefit from promoting assets? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like I have no preference with that. Like many games sponsor their streamers. ESO does that with the stream team system, which I'm not a part of. And there's sponsorships for games like Winsmeet and so on, but it's very different with SS. SS has a referral system, where if you refer, then you get like part of the what the people you refer to the game spend in SS. I don't have a problem with that. A lot of people they're like, oh, MLM scam, blah blah blah, and I think that's just bullshit. That's not the problem. There's some problems with SS, but that's not one of them. F4B1, thank you for the follow. Thank you. In my case, Pat too, at chat reading. He also, like, he doesn't read the chat during BGs, I've noticed. I try to read what I can during BGs, but I can read very little. So, we log in, and then there's people who read the chat during BGs, but they, like, die while they're reading the chat. They don't care about that. I care about it, I don't want to die. So that makes me fall a bit behind sometimes. I'm just new to your stream, learn how you do things. No, not you bad, not you bad. It's just something I need to get better at. And don't tell how you doing. Hello. Planning to also play Fallout 76 as well. That game had a rocky launch, right? But I've heard nothing but good things about it recently. I've not played it, but I love the Fallout series. I played Fallout 1, Fallout 2, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas. And then I'm gonna stop playing them, but I do need to play the other ones too someday. I love the universe. Just concerned that the reviews of the game might not be authentic. There are certainly, like, that is a thing. That is 100% a thing, that people are like invested in the game financially, and like their channels are all about the game. Which to some degree is the case with me and ESO, by the way. Like, I have mostly covered ESO since 2014. And if I do other games, then like, of course, like, it's not gonna be as like from a channel, like, streaming point of view, it's not gonna be as successful for me. And ESO is. So these people have the same dilemma with assets, so they overlook a lot of the bad things about the game, especially since it hasn't launched. They're very invested on the launch being good, because it's gonna impact them, impact their livelihoods and YouTube and Twitch channels and whatnot. That is definitely a thing. So you kinda gotta know the person. Maybe watch them a little bit, see like if they're coping, if they're like authentic with their feedback about the game, to know if that's the case. But it is in sometimes it is the thing. Not always. I'm not gonna be like, oh, every SS content creator is that. No. Some people just they like the game. They don't mind the problems I have with it. Also the werewolf question, I think we haven't died on the werewolf yet. Got like 30 kills or something like that? Or 40? It's definitely playable, I'm gonna update the website. Hey Aaron, how you doing? Oh, that's you in game. Hello. Doing survey? I don't know why I'm here. I was here to show the world in ESO, because trainers thinking about playing ESO. So I think that's one thing ESO does very well. Just the world feels alive, like the questing is... there are problems with ESO's questing, don't get me wrong. Like there's lack of progression systems behind the questing. There's lack of reasons to really do them besides achievements and completion. Which is something that I think a recent game that released where Winsmith does really well. You have like collectibles that give you more, like better, like crafting stuff. You increase your numbers, like the crafting stats by collecting all of the collectibles and doing the mini games and stuff. You also increase your actual power a little bit by getting all the collectibles, and there's like a lot of reasons to explore that are not just exploring for the sake of exploring. You explore for the sake of making your character stronger, increasing your numbers, and I think that's a very important thing that ESO's kinda lacking. And I hope that future MMOs learn from games like Winsmith. But one thing ESO does very well is the world feels believable, you know? Play a lot of Star Wars The Old Republic on the game back to it, but trying to figure out your old login for it. Oh, I didn't play that game, but I watched a friend play it. I'm a big fan of Star Wars though. I watched all of the TV shows and movies. Even Acolyte, I watched Acolyte. It was not the greatest, but what can I say? Big Star Wars fan. But yeah, like, if you compare to Ashes of Creation, like this area with the graveyard and the zombies walking around, like, everything has a purpose and is believable. Because like when you design a game world in MMOs, when you're placing the NPCs, when you're placing the enemies, you have to be asking like, why are they here? Why are these NPCs here? What is their purpose? And what are they doing? You can just place static NPCs around and call it a game world. It doesn't work like that. Like if this was Ashes, I would be running into random flame elementals standing still, and one of them would be randomly be an elite, even though it looks exactly like the other ones. You know, like that's the problem. And even like World of Warcraft from 2004 got it right. If you make your new character in Durotar, you're gonna see quill boars and their little camps and dwellings, and the story behind the centaurs and the troll village and the tigers in the islands that are like jungle, so it makes sense that the tigers are there because their environment. they thought about all of that, and that's why WoW was so successful in 2004, because you could really immerse yourself in the world. You weren't in like... I remember playing WoW for the first time when I was... what was I, like 13, 12? When was it? 2004? So it's minus 21... 12, so I would be 12 or 13 years old. I remember making my character, and I would spend like all day long just adventuring in Azeroth. Because I was in Azeroth, I didn't think like, oh, I was in a video game, I was playing a video game and grinding something or wasting my time or something like that. No, I would be very immersed in the game world. I would be excited to find more about it and explore it. I don't get that feeling with Ashes of Creation because of these problems I mentioned. Any summary on Ashes? Okay, summary. Combat's okay. The endgame systems, not my cup of tea, but I can live with them. I know a lot of people like them, but the game world needs a lot of work. The game world needs a crazy amount of work. I mean, by game world, I mean questing, I mean NPC placement, I mean AI behavior, all of that. And it's crazy that they think about releasing it next year when the game is at the state it's right now. As far as ESO is concerned, I think your overall assessment is fine. Say it's coming from a player since beta. Yeah, and thanks. Glad you agree. What is Stambarola builds of yours? Looks fun. Think you're gonna try it out. That's one of the newer builds. It was the one update last before this werewolf build that I'm gonna update on the website after stream. Really fun build. It's kind of a bomber build. Works very, very well. Have you tried much PvP in Ashes? No. No, because I haven't gotten to that part yet. It doesn't matter if I can't feel motivated to even get to level 10, then like... It doesn't matter if the PvP is good, I'm just gonna feel like I'm in a video game, you know, PvP, and... I'm not gonna feel like, oh, I made a powerful character, I'm in this other world, and... I can like immerse myself in the PvP as well. Nah, it's like... It doesn't feel the same. I already know that. I haven't done any PvP yet, but I already know it's not gonna feel the same. As it does in like ESO or WoW or Guild Wars 2 or any of these games that you feel like are actual believable game worlds. But yeah, that's the summary, I guess. Very long summary, but they can still fix that. I hope they fix that. I really wish the best for the game. I spent a lot of money in it, so that's another reason to want the best for it. I also want to stream it. I want to spend a lot of time in Ashes, but it needs to feel fun. It needs to feel like I'm not doing it just to stream something new, but actually because I want to play the game. So I get that with games like Where Windsmith, for example. Like, that's just a great game, I just want to play it. Still with ESO as well very often. Not every day, but that's why we took a long break recently. Anyway, it's 9 PM? I need to read the Q&A. There was a new PvP Q&A. It was kinda easily missed. Because it is not on the dev tracker for some reason. Gonna turn off the music. Or we can have some chill music on the background. How about some expedition music? So this was December 16th. It's 4 days ago, but as you can see, it is not posted here. So I did not react to it in time. But this part 3, I think it's the last part of the Q&A day. started last in January. Was that meet when you found out Steven Sharif and his family was involved in MLM was kind of disappointed? I think people are also kind of over exaggerating or blowing that out of proportion. I think Steven does want to make the like just the best video game or best MMO, but I think his opinion of like what's the best MMO is also very shaped by his past in MMOs. He's someone who played Lineage, he's someone who played arcades, so he maybe tries to lean a little bit too much towards those games, including like incorporating the bad things about those games. Like I mentioned earlier about the like game world's been a lot more static and old school in a bad way. Like you can be old school with the game world in a good way. Like Classic WoW is a great example of that. I love questing in WoW, like in the original WoW from 2004. Despite it being more grindy, more old school, it's fun. For me at least, and a lot of people apparently, because a lot of people play Classic WoW. A lot of people play Hardcore, which is all about the leveling basically in that game. But yeah. Below is part 3 of our written PP Q&A based on questions from the official ESO forums and ESO Reddit communities. This next one covers questions and answers about Zero and Imperiosity. Thank you everyone who asked a question. Guild PV event. Oh, in Verwinsmith? Is it right now? Ooh. What's up, Skink? Are you doing 55 minutes to get your ass to this boss and kill it once? Oof. I kinda need to... I might have to skip it today. I didn't know it was at this time. I would have scheduled maybe some Verwinsmith and... This is probably gonna take a while. Is it always at this hour? I'll do it next time. You ever played Dark Age of Camelot? No, that's one of the games I didn't play. But I know Cyrodiil is based on that and the PP format ESO has. Bugs and issues. Sometimes quality of life fixes are appreciated, even if performance cannot be improved. How are you all doing with the stuck in combat bug? Stuck in combat is actually not a thing in Vengeance. I think it's mostly based on status effects lingering on the target. Because there's no status effects in Vengeance. Being stuck in combat is something every PPR dislikes. There was a time just before how defensive ticks were changed, when we could get out of combat after 6 seconds. Everyone was amazed how being stuck in combat was finally fixed. Soon after new patch that introduced the new defensive ticks, we were back to being stuck in combat. No reason was ever given as to why it was reintroduced. I don't actually remember this. I don't remember ever being out of... like, reliably out of combat in Cyrodiil, outside of Vengeance. I think it's always been a thing. This guy's just... I don't know, he just didn't get stuck in combat randomly. Or rose-tinted classes. So I don't remember that. Alright, take care. Hey, thanks for now, trainer. Have a good rest of the day. I vaguely remember you all saying that you didn't want a band-aid fix. That you were working on it. It's been years since then and we still suffer from being stuck in combat. Fixing this would go a long way with the PP community. This was one of our most asked about topics. Stuck in combat bug is, in a nutshell, an extremely complicated issue. Over the years we've tried various potential fixes only to have the issue persist. A number of factors that contribute to the in-combat state are part of the complexity. We must check things like ongoing kill credit, monster hate lists and more. That being said, we implemented some fixes in update 46, they're currently working, thus cutting down on reports of players being stuck in combat. We continue to monitor this and will continue to explore other places where we can make improvements to cut down on occurrences where players are getting stuck in combat in Cyrodiil. Okay, this is not the... They don't mention Vengeance at all. They should mention that Vengeance is actually... There's no stuck in combat in Vengeance, anyone can test that. You can attack a player and try to sneak afterwards, you will be able to sneak. Unless there's a dot on the target still active. Or on yourself. So in Vengeance they actually fixed it at the same time. It's based on the, like, it's related to performance. Second thing that's wrong here is them saying that it's currently working. It is not currently working. You get stuck in combat all the time in Cyrodiil. How do I know? Recently, last time I went to Cyrodiil outside of Vengeance, I spent probably an hour running between gives because I was stuck in combat. And the reason they're not getting reports of players being stuck in combat is because there isn't players reporting that. The player population has gone drastically. People are tired of reporting the same thing over and over again. There's no new players running into the issue because there's no new players interested in PvP. That's why there's less reports. Not because something is working. It is not working. So yeah, I kinda wish they didn't write this kind of stuff when it's just complete fabrication. Are you planning to address map irregularities, disadvantages in Cyrodiil, ability to siege Glade Mist or Fargil from mine or cliffs without showing siege count, distance issue or range to that location for defensive siege? Is this a problem, William? Map nuances you described are things we're aware of. Any changes are dependent on world building availability bandwidth. World building availability bandwidth, okay. Possible that we could address some of the more problematic ones at some point. Original map and much of the world building are the way they are is to stay true to Cyrodiil's original design from other Elder Scrolls games and to provide some environmental variety to each keep and fort. Additionally, we also want to provide advantages that offer distinct differences in maps and gameplay. Anything that allows for bypassing keep defenses or accessing areas regardless of being on the attack or defense side of things are areas where we would like to address as time and team bandwidth allow. Stay, but just lurking kind of locked in on your game. Hey, thank you for lurking. I appreciate it. And enjoy gaming. Can you link this? Sure. One sec. I sent in YouTube chat as well. There you go. It should send in. Okay, it's just a bit slow. There we go. When will the fortress door bug be fixed? In big fights, you either can't activate it or it activates twice and you're outside again. Yeah, I don't know if that's like super high priority, but it's an issue with lag in general. When lag hits, actions like door activations can get delayed. Yeah, it's pretty much it. It is more commonly in non-vengeance campaigns such as Grey Host. Something we are still looking to address in the future as we continue to investigate ways for Cyrodiil to be more performant. In the thread regarding lags and freezes, the devs recently wrote that the Bandits UI add-on affects the game's performance via mapping API. What measures have you taken or are you planning to take to fix the situation? How will this affect other add-ons using this API? In the case of Bandits UI, it utilized a sort of backdoor add-on communication pipeline to function. Something about hitting that backdoor too much started causing noticeable issues in client performance, even for folks not using the add-on. So we worked with the Bandit UI add-on devs to temporarily disable the backdoor part of the add-on. Worked to add a new bespoke pipeline to let add-ons communicate within reasonable limitations, no longer needing the backdoor pipeline. The add-on committee created a new library group Sukat to utilize this new pipeline and integrate it into any add-ons that were relying on the backdoor. If there are similar instances with other add-ons, we are more than happy to take a look and work with add-on creators to see what can be addressed. Okay, I've always used Bandits UI. It's just the best looking UI add-on in my opinion, the most customization. And I know they fixed this, like, this was a while ago, like a couple of patches. But yeah, there's a lot of other issues with add-ons that are not really related to performance, but, or who knows, maybe they are, but there's a lot of things that shouldn't be doable in ESO with add-ons. Steam investigated the disconnect that occurs when approaching structures where large amounts of players are fighting. From our investigation, it appears to be due to the order that objects are being loaded and failing as large numbers of players are loaded. That's probably related to the FPS part of the issues, I think. So every time you get near a keep, the FPS just plummets. Even in Vengeance. Like you can have skills going off and whatnot, but you're to some degree. We did have some lag issues in Vengeance as well, but the FPS would still go down a lot. Perhaps a more gradual loading system or reduced asset initial load could be considered. We have. It is a combination of what you're suggesting along with graphic settings and add-ons that create a heavy load on the client. If you're disconnecting, crashing a lot in Zero, consider removing your add-ons to see if it helps. Managing your add-ons is something you can do on your end while we continue to work on making the experience better on our end. Right, so play at a disadvantage to remove another disadvantage. It's not really an elegant solution, if you ask me. Future improvements. Will there be more ways to communicate with the rest of your faction? At the moment the map tells very little with text chat blowing up. I'd like to ping enemy locations and other things. We do have some ideas for this to help players better communicate with others in their alliance in Serial, and to make the map more interactive, like you suggested. Something that will help communication in-game rather than using external sources like Discord. However, this is a longer-term project and will take us some time to get to. Okay. I mean, that's good. What's there on use inside BGs where it shows a huge banner as to the BG type? Oh, that's the impressive PvP or improved PvP UI or something like that. Let me check the actual name. Open menu here. Move in game so we don't get kicked. It is this one, improved PvP UI by Imfda. At the moment, organized groups are difficult to kill without specific bomb strategies. Is there something in the works to reduce this resolvability? They kind of answered this already, that they want to do more with Battle Spirit, and that they're aware of the bulk group issue, which I think is the biggest cause for lag as well. I believe excessive healing may be a culprit. Personal healing seems fine, but healing to other targets seems overturned. It allows non-healers to heal the group a little bit too much, a little bit. Currently a burst meta going on, causing non-burst players to build very tanky. To remedy this, I suggest reducing damage taken, reducing healing by even more. It's also not just healing, it's also damage shields. And damage shields make this groups non-burstable. That plus all the defensive buff sets. So hopefully they are not too focused on the healing part, or that healing is also including damage shields. This allows short fights to last longer and long fights to be shorter. Burst would no longer be king and unkillable tanks would cease to exist. We are actively working on ways to combat identified strategies like heal stacking among others. We will see the first steps to address this in update 49 next year. That's the next update. In late January, I think, on BTS. Or early January. I think on 7th they have the announcement. And BTS is usually next Monday after that. So January 10th would be my guess. As noted, some of the answers here, we are leaning towards leaning into solutions that utilize Battle Spirit. Yeah. Is there a chance of destructible resource towers within the Citadel? There's a possibility, yes, but any destructible structures in Citadel come with client-side performance cost, especially on lower-end machines. Crash can occur due to lack of memory, for example. This is something we will need to measure against older platforms in order to make more informed choice. A more informed choice. All destructible structures in Citadel have a client memory footprint trade-off, and they are not all equal. We understand this is something many of our PvP players would like to see, though. Okay, I mean, I'm sure there are people who would like to see this. I don't really... It's not gonna make a huge impact to my gameplay if towers at the resources are destructible or not, but I'm sure there are a lot of players who would like them to be. For some reasons, or other reasons. Hey, what's bad? These are good. I don't think we would have seen this without a rejection of the Vengeance campaign. Means they have put in the work to improve standard PvP. Yeah, but they some of the reasons I'm not too hyped for CODL and never will be is because they cannot fix the lag. Like they cannot have the lag fixed with enough population for like large fights. The population is 1/3 of what the max is in Vengeance. So like I get that a lot of people don't like Vengeance, but it is something different. It's a different form of PvP. And like when people are happy that it's gone, what do you have left? You have left the CODL that was completely dead before Vengeance was a thing even. Like if I look at the player pops here, it's prime time, right? Okay, it's locked today. But it is weekend, but it would be low pops most of the day. Usually, over the past couple of months. And even lock pops, like, it's 1/3 of Vengeance. Full of bulk groups, yeah. Exactly. So you have 120 people per faction. You have like maybe 1 or 2 bulk groups, half the people sitting AFK in base, or in some delve or some town doing questing, or not really VPN. So who do you have left to fight? Like, there's gonna be a bulk group where you fight another group that's bigger than like 1 or 2 players. Statistically, there's always going to be a bulk group. CODL is just dead. Unless you enjoy bulk grouping. Or fighting bulk groups. Unfortunately. And that's why I'm not really like, I'm not like, oh yay, Vengeance is gone, because Vengeance provides something different. So I could do that instead of BGs, but it is what it is. It's worried that they have not mentioned future hardware upgrades, because they don't do anything. They explained that in the post they made. When performance gets better, bulk groups get stronger. And because bulk groups get stronger, bulk groups die less, and bulk groups are able to spam abilities more, and performance goes down again. It's a never-ending problem. It's an Ouroboros, a snake eating its tail. Made a bomber can't kill a single person in a bulk group. I made a full damage DK ganker during one of the PvP events. I had Vamp Toggle, a True Swan, 500 Baylock, Overlord Leap into BFP. It would not even move the health bar of a bulk grouper with damage cells up. It would not even get rid of the damage cells. It's absolutely retarded, the state of CODL. Changes will address that. I mean, if they make sense that actually address bulk groups, maybe it's playable after that, but I don't see that happening. Like, there's too many buff sets nowadays. There's just too many things empowering bulk groups. Bulk groups were a problem a year ago. They were a problem 2 years ago. They were a problem 3 years ago. And every year they've been getting more and more and more power. Not even 12 people in a group, it's more like 24. I mean, that's the bigger bulk groups. There's bulk groups of 6, bulk groups of 12, bulk groups of 24, and keep in mind that the max population of a faction is 120. How many people do you find that are not in a bulk group? Not that many. Husband said you would make a beautiful male model if you shave your beard. Well, thanks. That's a high compliment. Industry standard to keep hardware up to date. Server hardware degrades due to constitution load over time. 5 years is considered the maximum industry standard. Just like any other machine. Yeah, but they upgrade the servers once. What did it do? 1 month after the server upgrade, what did it do? Nothing. We were right back to lagging whenever the bulk groups were around. They don't do that because it's expensive. It's not a permanent solution. We were lagging with, keep in mind, we were lagging with 1/4 of the population the game had in 2014 in PvP. In Cyrodiil. Like, my main problem is not even the lag in Cyrodiil. My main problem is that you're fighting the same people over and over again. And there's always a bulk group. It's always a fucking bulk group that you're fighting. It's always the same people, same bulk group. Performance is the second biggest issue. The FPS drops near keeps, the ability is not firing. That's the other problem. It's like why I prefer BGs. Like, I don't want to deal with that. That's just frustrating. Why do you think that these casual PvPers prefer dump down PvP, or why people like the bulk group, or what do you mean? I think casual PvPers like the like that's one of the reasons why a lot of people like Vengeance. It's not my reason. I won't consider myself a casual. I like Vengeance because it was something different. It's a different game mode basically, and you had a lot of players to fight. It was not all the same people all the time. If this is about Vengeance. Combat chains have worsened things. Don't disagree. I think it's one part of the puzzle. It's not much of a puzzle, I think. Like, it's just bulk groups. It's just bulk groups always ruining things. Oh, bulk groups. No, people like to bulk group because people have huge egos. They want to feel like they're the best players, and it doesn't matter if you have every advantage in the universe as you fight against randoms with your bulk group. It doesn't matter to these people at all. If they kill you in PvP, they are the best players, and they can feel really good inside. Like that's all. It's kind of like playing chess, and instead of pawns you have queens, and you beat the opponent, and you're like, oh, I'm better. I win. I'm the best player. A lot of people have these kind of just huge unchecked egos in this game, unfortunately. And most of the time, it's people who play in bulk groups. Can you make guard boss in each keep that is essentially a world boss that has to be defeated to be able to take the keep? Reason for it would be to deter the ability to take a keep solo and require more group incentives. Could also be a specific rare drop that a different group was dropped to complete a style skin or mount. That would be cool. That would get me to do Cyrodiil for a bit until I have the things collected. For example, 6 Emperor Keeps have the boss drop for the mount, then 3 AP buff resource drop the skin parts, home keeps drop the style pages. That would add a lot more reason for people to go into the lesser populated campaigns. Yes, the reward structure in PvP is not good. Like, things like this would improve it. It's a temporary solution though. What you need is seasonal stuff to keep it from being temporary. Want to make Zero into a dungeon? And no, not necessarily. When I read this, I think of Alterac Valley. In WoW, for example. If the performance allowed this, they could do stuff like this. And they could do even more than that. They could have like mob waves between keeps, and you could do objectives on the map to empower the mob waves, like in MOBAs. And like, imagine if you like have the resources for a certain amount of time, it empowers the NPCs that walk to the enemy keep, and they would be like able to break down the walls on their own and stuff like that. That'd be interesting, but I don't think performance is gonna allow that ever. Not gonna happen, yeah, probably not, because performance. The neat idea for Cyrodiil and itemization, we'd have to discuss the use cases. For example, if we implement a monster kill requirement to claim flip keeps that can be broken and or exploited. How? How compared to the way keeps can be flipped at the moment? You can still keep the flags, you can keep everything else, just add a boss there. If performance allows that. We also want to avoid anything that would encourage keep trading behavior. Would have a keep load as an extra bonus, just not a requirement to flip the keep. Yeah, or just use an extra requirement. Like, keep the old requirements and add a new one as well on top of that. Easy. Vengeance any day, to even just to avoid the bulk group morons acting like bots, yeah. Don't think I've ever come across a player who's part of a bulk group who's ever beat a new 1v1, which is why you asked. No, there are people who like they have their dueling builds, all right. Like they can at least now with subclassing they can maybe win a duel or two here and there, but they're very average. They do very poorly in BGs. They can't really play solo. But anytime you find them, they're either on a dueling build or they're surrounded by buff sets and group heals in a bulk group. There are people like that. I'm not gonna sit here though and say like, oh, they're all terrible at 1v1. I mean, mechanically they are, but there are builds that, especially with bow proc, that you can just get one shot by nowadays. But it's an entirely different topic. So they can have like, in my case, like 10% win rate or whatever the fuck. You know, since you have Xbox Game Pass, ESO is included with it. Does that work for PC? I think it should, right? What is this? It's the PP Q&A, part 3 of it. All group scanner should be addressed with these combat changes. Yeah, but it's not that simple. Like the problem that they have with ball groups, the problem has grown in size year after year after year after year. If they change it, like if they nerf ball groups to how they were a year ago, it's not gonna be enough. If they nerf ball groups to how they were 2 years ago, it's not gonna be enough. It would have to be very drastic changes to many aspects of the game. Item sets, cross shields, all of that. Synergies, like a lot of things. Also a lot of back-end things, like how certain add-ons play with certain third-party programs, for example, that are not technically DOS or cheating. There are things that people do in bulk groups that I can guarantee 99% of people don't even know about, haven't even thought about. And the reason I know is because I've been told about these things. I've been shown how these things work. There are things that are like, people do anything in this game to have an advantage over the others. Group play is actually good, but bulk group is a very specific style of play in this game. Other games do not have this issue because generally investing into heavy defense kneecaps offensive capacity. Yeah, it is a form of gameplay. Like, people's being encouraged to spread out and not just run in one group and just run everything down. Like, sure, it can be a playstyle, but it shouldn't be as powerful as it is right now. Like, you cannot really do anything to those players. Like, even if you're a billion times better as a player, you cannot kill one of those players because the cross heals and shields and defensive buffs from transmutation and meritorious and like all of these sets is just Osesan. Like, they have fucking 10k more armor for free. They have rallying cry amount of crit resistance for free on top of like, they usually build tanky as well, 40k health and whatnot, because they get so many offensive buffs. It's just pointless. It was pointless a year ago when they were half as good as or powerful as they are right now. And it was a problem a year before that when they were half as strong as they were before that, because of the like added buff sets and added cross shields with the scribing or cross shields. Like, it's just a problem that's grown in proportion over the years. Bomber can't move their HP, nothing can. Yeah, no, you can't do anything. You can play your own bulk group. You can find 11 other people who want to run certain sets and play at certain times each day, who want to sit in voice and install certain add-ons, and then you can fight against them. Simple, right? But as just someone who wants to play the game in PvP, just wants to go into serial, have fun, maybe invite some random people in the group, have fun, you can do that. Do the bulk groups. You can do that to the people who need to have every advantage possible to compete. Who need to run around with all of those advantages and just ruin PvP. Like, it's just not double. Insane crit damage pen on bomber builds still so damage. Yeah, because they have insane crit resistance and insane armor. So you're back to square one basically. And they have 40k health, because why not? And another 40k worth of damage sales on top of that. I made a compilation of all the buffs. Wait, I can maybe show that. Also need to move in game. And this is from like a couple patches ago. There's been more sets released since then, but wait, I need to actually close the game, I think. It's on my desktop. That's how healing works. Make it heal you and one other player easy soft. Yeah, maybe like healing could be capped. But then how do you do that without affecting PV in a bad way? But that's only one problem. There's also buff sets. There's so many things. Okay, hold on. Let me find this. Buff sets. This was a very it's opening. I need to wait a bit. Very simple little list of extra stats you can get in a bulk crew. I can't zoom this in, sadly. So let me see if I can... I think I can go this back up. Sorry if it's a bit small, but 1400 crit resistance, transmutation, 21% crit resistance. It's like 2 5 pieces worth of crit damage. Crit riposte, another 10% crit damage debuff, less crit chance for everyone fighting the bulk group. You have almost 10k armor from just 7 item pieces. Meritorious and Osesan. Apocryphal Inspiration gives everyone the regen, so you can run armor bots, gain another 5.2k armor, so we have now more armor than Pariah on everyone in the group for free. Basically, minor vitality from Osesan, so the heals and shields are stronger. You get around like 1k weapon spell damage, powerful assault, Ulrimer Boulder, Pelcent, Gossamer, Beckoning Steel, August 6k pen for everyone. Crit damage wise, Suck Seals, 20% crit damage for everyone, 11% crit damage from Lucent Echoes, so 31% crit damage for everyone. It's more than 2 5 pieces. For like a solo build would be. Phoenix mod is not really being run, but you can get crit damage from like Contingency, I think, for example. Just buffs the whole group. Minor crits as well from Scribing, very easy to get. Farstride is just a debuff on whoever you want to focus. Giga crit damage buff for the whole group. Like, this is a very, very incomplete list, but you get the idea, right? Of how much power you get from buff sets. And in order to fight that, you need to do the same. Like, that's the only thing. You can bomb them. You need to also run very organized. You also need to all sit in voice, 3-2-1 ulti dump. All run buff sets coordinated before going into PvP. You have this huge barrier of entry to PvP if you're a competitive person. Like, it's not enough to be better at the game than the people you play against. You have to build a similar way to other people. You have to have 11 other people to compensate for the lack of stats you have against your opponents. That's the main issue. Not be able to run 50k resistance, run at 200% speed either. Yeah, resistance, like I shot there, but speed you can get the major minor expedition from like one person running retreating maneuvers, for example. It's crazy. It's 12 people in one full group, but having multiple groups on Discord is fucked up. Yeah, people will always try to get any sort of advantage over their opponents in this game, sadly. I don't get the mentality. Why would you do that? Like, if it's a 1v1, like if it's building on your own, doing the same things that your opponent can do, I think that's when it's fair. But not everyone has 11 people with buff sets and voice comms. then you're having an advantage that your opponent cannot have. It's kind of like playing chess against someone, and instead of having pawns, you have queens. How is that a fair match? How can you feel? How can you feel accomplished after winning that chess match, for example? You don't, right? Normal people don't. But these people are there's something wrong with their brains. They get an ego boost out of zerging people down with a ball group. So been nerfed half a decade ago. Yeah, but that's just that's tip of the iceberg, my friend. Tip of the iceberg, birds, when it comes to all of the many issues. And imagine this: they have to fix all of that. They have to fix the cross shielding, all of these buff sets, everything, and then you can fight ball groups. I just don't know how they're gonna do that at this point. It's gotten way over, like, out of control a long time ago, years ago. Last time I think PvP was balanced in Cyrodiil was like 2015 or something like that. I remember like good players I would fight against back then would be like, they would be siege and keep, spread out. They didn't have buff sets, they weren't buff sets back then. The cross heals weren't as bad. Like Cyrodiil has not been fun in a long time. Speed would be kept on your resistance. That sounds very complicated. You would tie that to Battle Spirit. Like, these are very strange changes. But I don't know if they want to do something complicated. And won't really like solve all of the issues, right? They'd just be slow. Maybe they slot Shriek then because subclassing. Then you can be slow. Doesn't matter. Same concept as on like many of my builds where I have seasonal, just run Shriek. Or Ball of Lightning. Okay, let's continue. We have a lot to go through still, I think. Could you add an AP XP bonus for being in a group of 3 or more? Could be something small like 2.5 to 5% to incentivize people to group up more instead of going solo and allow for more community build. What is this question? Isn't there enough incentive already to always group up in Cyrodiil? We'd want to think through the use case and if this would lead to people feeling like they have to group. That is the thing in Cyrodiil, like, you already have that feeling. I don't know what Cyrodiil this guy's playing, but that is already the problem. It's not a good thing, it's a problem. Like, MMO doesn't mean that you have to group. It doesn't mean that you're forced to group. Like, MMO just means that you have a lot of people around you, not that you're always grouped. I don't get this mentality. Don't want to penalize solo and small group players. Thank you, Sos. Groups already have a significant advantage in Cyrodiil and Imperial City, including better chance to get more AP and XP. Exactly. Better durability, etc. You're already more likely to win when grouped. Thank you. And what the fuck is this question? Who are these people? Is this a ball grouper who just wants more AP and XP apparently? This must be a ball grouper. This is what I mean. They just want more and more and more. I think groups do 4 and only sharing buffs between group can be a change. No. Nobody outside of group can buff you. Oh, I don't know if limiting groups fixes things really. Because then you used to have multiple groups of 4. And like you can already be really powerful with just a 4-man crew if you all have the buff sets and cross heals. I don't know if that doesn't solve the problem. It just adds another like layer that people will find workarounds around. They're not gonna lie. Which one? This one or that you shouldn't be regard the crew? This guy also has this like this question is yeah, this would be cool stuff if they added like bosses and whatnot that drop styles and skins and mounts and stuff like that. But same person also asked this question. It's a bit. Luckily, Zos has a good take here. Has discussed allowing players to mount in combat while in Cyrodiil to circumvent the stuck in combat bug. You should be able to. There's a time before you can mount up. Same area as this question to also allow players to add seeds or potions to their quick slot while in combat. Yes, this should be a thing. More XP for certain people. Oh, right, yeah. This is why there was a. Gonna get sidetracked again, but there was a YouTube comment. I've been getting some interesting YouTube comments, by the way. Maybe I'll show some of those later. But there was a YouTube comment talking about how like I was talking about the end of year letter and how they've improved their communication. There was someone saying that they, even though they have improved the forum communication, like someone was upset that they didn't listen to people on the forums. I had to point out in response to that person that maybe they shouldn't respond to every forum post and every forum poster, because there's a lot of people with just very weird takes or just misinformation. There are people fabricating player interest by just bumping up their threads. For example, you all know which one I'm talking about. There's a thread that's only on the front page because 2 people keep bumping it up. It doesn't have any real interest from a large part of players, but they try to make it seem like it does. And it would be a mistake if SOS decided to interact with these players and reward them for bumping up the forum threads and trying to fabricate that interest. So I really understand like why there is not that much communication, even though there's been more recently. I think SOS Kevin has done a great job on the forums. ESO runs fine on your PC, gotta leave off very well on your Xbox save, so you're level 8 already. Oh, okay, that's not a lot, luckily. Like if you made it to level 8 on Xbox, not losing too much progress. But I hope you enjoy ESO. Like, we're yapping a lot about the PP issues, but still a fun game. Especially if you're into the, like you mentioned earlier, like you like Skyrim and like the PV part of things. ESO has a lot to offer, and PP too, but it has issues too. We'll try to address the stuck in combat issue at its core, then implement ways to get around it. As mentioned earlier, I think they should implement ways to get around it, because they should have fixed the stuck in combat 9 years ago. I would have rather seen a way around it by now than them trying to fix the core issue and failing at fixing it. Because this is really annoying in Cyrodiil for a lot of players. When you try to move between keeps and you're stuck in combat, you can mount up. Why not allow people to mount up in combat? Why not? Maybe increase the summoning mount speed in with Battle Spirit or something, but it would also make the game feel more interactive, less clunky. You'd have additional like maybe strategy in PvP where you line of sight and you mount up behind line of sight and you just get the hell out of there, and then people can mount up after you and you can have like mounted chase and stuff like that. Would be cool. It would be a good thing in more ways than just fixing the issue of traveling between keeps, right? So I don't see this. I don't know why they're so hesitant of allowing people to mount up in combat. I think would be cool. But yeah, the bug happens all the time. I don't think the frequency has reduced at all. It's just people don't report it as often because they're tired of reporting it. Have you guys any plans to update the Cyrodiil experience? Update map, new structures, etc.? They can't because of performance. We followed up with our latest Vengeance testing and Cyrodiil update. There are a few things we are doing. One, we are working on revamping rewards as part of PvP progression system. More on this in 2026. I'm very excited about this one, by the way. Hopefully it's a seasonal model, that is not just like how much you play, but more about how well you play. I don't see how this would work in Cyrodiil though. It's not like Cyrodiil KDR is really relevant. It's not like it's competitive. But I'm still happy there's a progression system, hopefully better than AP system. Should be able to mount in combat with battle spirit, 100%. I think it would be just a gameplay improvement, not just a quality of life, but a gameplay update. Also continue to look at ways to improve the overall performance of all available Cyrodiil campaigns, such as Grey Host. Also looking into offering smaller scale PvP space that is thematically similar to Cyrodiil to offer a fresh take on three faction combat. I am very excited for this one too. There's a reason why I am more positive about next year. I think a smaller Cyrodiil is something I've personally, like, I know it's something I've been personally asking for years now. Cyrodiil is too big for the amount of players you have in Cyrodiil, 120 per faction. It is too big. Most of the map is empty. It's very depressing to travel around Cyrodiil, travel around the delves and the like everything, and just see nothing, see no one. Because the map is fucking humongous for no reason. It's one reason why Vengeance feels better is because you find more fights in different parts of the map, not just located in one spot and a bulk group around there. Smaller PP map could be the solution, should be the solution. So you can have like smaller populations, have less lag, and have smaller maps so it's more condensed. It's not just all gonna be in one space, but maybe there's like more interesting map design as well. It's a different environment as well, rather than the same that we've been playing in since 2014. I'm very, very excited for the new PvP zone. Lastly, we would like to offer a Vengeance special rule set campaign to round out the larger scale combat fantasy with reduced performance issues. This is also good. Like, people have their opinions about Vengeance, but I did like Vengeance more than the current Cyrodiil. There, like, I can say that. I'm not a huge fan of the current Cyrodiil. It is what it is. And I'm happy if they can offer that option. I just worry that the player base might be splintered too much between BGs, the new small scale zone, Vengeance and Grey Host. So for that, I think crossplay is gonna fix that, but when is crossplay gonna happen? Are we gonna have to deal with empty PvP campaigns for a while? That's what I worry about. It'd be crazy if they were to introduce jousting in Zero. Would be cool. Like, that would be a good chapter feature, for example, mounted combat, right? Or maybe it's not like an entire feature worth of stuff, but it would be a cool update. It would be a passive in Assault, being able to mount in combat. I mean, they could do it that way too, yeah. Or they could just introduce actual mounted combat. Well, like, you mount up and maybe based on the type of the mount, you get some abilities and or something like that, something different would be cool. I think it would replace your action bar until you unmount or dismount. I would like that. Are there any plans to update the gameplay of Imperial City? This is a good question. IC has been very static for a long time. Don't have anything planned for the immediate future. Well, this is something we would like to work on later down the line. Right now our work is on Cyrodiil. Okay. So basically no. Cyrodiil population and campaigns. Is there going to be a way to get more people on a PP server in Cyrodiil? Don't often do PP, but when I do, it's the Cyrodiil map and Imperial City. Kinda like it, but it's always quite empty. Or a bit lifeless even, a little bit, huh? There's all the NPCs you fight when taking meals and forts and whatnot, but they seem to be it. It could also be that I happen to join at a time no one's really playing, but that can just be every time I play it, right? It is definitely the case. Like, Cyrodiil's too big for the lack of population they have in Cyrodiil. And it's gonna be here in the answer, I'm sure. Increasing the overall population gaps in Cyrodiil is one of our main goals for the Vengeance test. We agree with you that higher population makes every Cyrodiil campaign more active and fun, increase the opportunities for more of everything from small skirmishes to large-scale key battles against other players. Throughout the testing we've done this year, we found that Grey Host does suffer quite a bit once we raise the cap above 360 total players. With the added work in Vengeance to have lighter weight skills, class templates, we were able to push the cap much higher without massive performance hits. As it currently stands, Greyhost will have a cap of 360 total players, so 120 per faction. It has that right now at the moment. And Vengeance will be set to 900 total players, so about like almost 3 times. We will continue to look for ways to improve the experience, but these are the current total player caps for each campaign. Right, and the reason they can't add new content, like new NPCs and new areas of interest in Cyrodiil, is also performance. They can do that in Vengeance, they have the capacity to do that. So they could introduce a lot of cool things in Vengeance. I think the main thing though, if they want to have people playing PvP, would be a proper reward structure. You don't have good rewards for doing PvP right now. That's just a fact. Like the first Vengeance, there was a Golden Pursuits campaign around it. What happened? It was kept all the time. Because people wanted the rewards, right? So there needs to be a carrot behind any type of gameplay. And it can't be like temporary carrot. A carrot used... It needs to be a carrot at the end of a stick, right? So you don't get to actually eat the carrot. If you eat the carrot, then the carrot's gone. And you turn around and you go back to BGs or PV or questing or whatever you happen to be doing. And that's gonna be the problem. Just gotta have a long enough stick to put the carrot at the end of. And you'll have people doing PvP. Will there be a handicap system to replace the low population bonus, which has many problems in its design? There are many alternatives, but the simplest would be a point handicap system inversely proportional to population. For instance, our tick points would be the current points for faction at bar 1 bar. Chefsen, thank you for the sub. Thank you. 12 months. Thank you for the support. GG's earlier. You met my Avu in BGs. We fixed that build. Not that it needed much fixing. Just one skill line change. Points for a faction at 1 bar, half point for a faction at 2 bars, 1/4 for a faction at 4 bars, and so on. Could be more accurate with actual population or even active population, not bars. Thanks for the suggestion. This is something we can look into for the future. We know from player feedback there could be an alternative to this. As for right now, you do get an AP XP bonus when you have lower score. Yep. Applying a combat bonus could open pathways to exploiting it, so that's something we need to be careful of. We'll continue to explore and see what's possible. All of these feel like band-aids fixes. When you have to add a low population bonus, you're not addressing the disease, you're addressing the symptoms. I would rather not see low pops at all. I would rather see an active PvP campaign. With reasons to go there, reasons to PvP. When you have to add things like low pop bonuses, which still should be there. Let's be honest, like you can't always have an active population. But when you have to focus on that, that's just the best way to fix this. The best way to fix this kind of, or not have these kind of questions in the first place, would be to fix the population, basically. Is what I'm saying. But yeah, it's already kind of a thing, the low pop bonus. Time Sally round wasn't full. Yeah, the BG didn't start. It's been a while since that happened to me. When will the campaign point and buff system be revised? Campaigns are decided when Cyrodiil is empty. Why care about the campaigns? True. There's a lot of night capping because the campaign's been empty, right? People can do it. Additionally, the alliance-dominated map gets buffed. Why? We are exploring ways to give them give interim or during campaign benefits to alliances, regardless of whether they are winning or losing. Nothing to announce yet, but it's something we are aware of and looking into. You will want Emmer's feedback on. Okay. Is the team planning to adjust campaign scoring to consider population ratios? Currently, the factions have very imbalanced populations. Campaign score is usually determined solely by non-prime time population imbalance. Again, like these are just the symptoms, not the disease itself, but we have some form of campaign scoring adjustments based on population. However, we are open to revisiting this system if the current mechanisms triggering current benefits are not seen as beneficial. Okay. I have nothing really to say about that. Have you guys considered NPC raid groups in Cyrodiil that join whatever is the low pop faction? Groups capable of sieging, taking, defending keeps, as a solution to population imbalances throughout the 24-hour cycle. Funny, this is kind of like what I was talking about earlier with the like mob waves between keeps. Similar idea would be cool. They could implement MOBA style mechanics, but performance. And before I'm even reading the thing, what do we see here? Performance. That has been talked about in the past, mercenary groups that players could deploy, which existed during launch. Yes, there were consumables called mercenary scrolls, I think they were, that you could use in Sodal, and they would spawn an NPC. But they got rid of them because of performance issues. These cause performance issues, yeah. They have some technical overhead due to always being awake, checking and always there, and in the path. May be able to revisit this in Vengeance since there is less performance overhead compared to traditional campaigns like Grey Host. I hope they don't do what they did back then. I think they should do a MOBA style mob wave between keeps. That'd be really cool. I think. Especially if you could like buff the NPCs. I think that'd be super interesting. And then if your mobs are like winning against the opponent ones, they would start sieging the keep. They could make it way more in-depth than just some consumable you buy that spawns an NPC. That's kind of like some NPC companion. Like that wasn't too interesting back then. There's no reason why it would be interesting right now. Like not many people were using them back in the days. So they should do something more interesting and in-depth than that. But yeah, in Vengeance, because Grey Host cannot support that without it getting giga laggy or even laggier. Why did you stop changing the names of campaigns to align with the content cycle that we're on? Can we please go back to changing the names of campaigns to align with the content cycle that we're on? It's super tiny thing, but it just helps make people feel cared about. Okay, I mean, fair enough. I can see that. Wouldn't mind going back and revisiting this. It does create some uniqueness barrier. This is something we are open to, and we want your input on names. They should make a community poll for campaign names, and community could vote on like what the campaign is going to be called. That'd be interesting. If they want input on names, why not just make a poll about it? Any plans to update under 50 newbie campaigns, so it is actually helpful training ground for new level 10 PvP players? Encouraging new players in a better atmosphere may lead to healthier PvP in general. Yeah, there's no one there. That campaign's the deadest of dead. Unfortunately, current reality of level 10 to 49 Zodiel is that it doesn't get a very high population, yeah. In internal conversations, we've talked about introducing more tutorials to the campaign to make it a true new player-friendly experience. This would be nice to do, but there's nothing planned at the moment. I think that's the wrong way to go about it. I think, why not just remove it? There's Vengeance. Why split the player base further? In Vengeance, you have the same stats, same gear layout, same consumables, infinite consumables, same everything as everyone else. Why have a below 50 campaign when they can just go to Vengeance? Why have this exist? Why spend development resources on this at all? Why even think of making a tutorial in an environment that is empty? Like, you can have this tutorial in Vengeance as well for new players. That way you funnel more players into Vengeance as well. You have it more active. Because the last Vengeance was not that active. I looked at the pops when I logged in. They were kind of low. What's the latest expansion for ESO? I'm all the way up to Morrowind. Latest expansion was not Gold Road, it was Solstice. I don't know what it's called though. What was it called? Season of the Wormgold, I think is the name. It's a content pass. Technically, it's not called an expansion or chapter, but it introduced the subclassing system that most people were not very happy about. But if you buy it, you get the new zone. Basically, that's about it. After Morrowind, there's you get access to all of them with ESO Plus, by the way. Might be a better way than buying all of them. Like, you might wind up saving money that way if you just get the ESO Plus, and that gets you everything except the latest or this year's content. So that would be like Greymore, High Isle, Elsewhere, Apocrypha, and Telvanni Peninsula. Like all of the other zones, like Galen, Deadlands, like there's a crazy amount. Blackwood, yeah, Blackwood is that was also a chapter. That was after Morrowind we had the Somerset. Wait, Somerset, High Isle, and then Blackwood, right? Was it Somerset, Blackwood? No, Somerset, Northern Skyrim, or Northern Skyrim, the Western Skyrim. And then we had Blackwood, I think. I don't get the order right necessarily, but you get access to all of that with ESO Plus as well. And ESO Plus also, it's a big quality of life change when all of your crafting mats go to the crafting bag. I think it's a really good value. In order to encourage more low-level and introductory players to join your duel, can double AP and double XP be permanently enabled on the below level 50 campaign? No, people would abuse them. Should be doubled again to 4 times normal amounts during the White Strike events. Something we are exploring with the new mid-size PP zone discussed in our Vengeance test and serial update. Okay, so double AP there. I don't think they need to do that though. That just makes one type of content worth doing more than the other types of content. I don't think that's the right approach. I think there should be a unique reason to go to each of these. There should be a unique progression system behind all of them. Like, you can keep AP in Cyrodiil, but maybe have a different PP currency in the new zone. So people want to get the currency in the new zone, and then they want to get AP in Cyrodiil. Although there should be more reasons to farm AP, I think. But yeah, I don't think one should be better than the other. And I don't think below 50 should be more AP than above 50, because then if you just want to farm AP, you just play below 50 and farm keeps and empty resources and whatnot. That would be kind of abused, I think. Why are characters under 50 allowed in regular campaigns? Majority I encountered probably got there mostly by accident. Shouldn't they be restricted to that one training campaign? Provide more insight on how the joining of campaigns happens and better tutorials for newcomers. There are two sides to this from our perspective. As noted in the question above, we would love to have more tutorials to create a better onboarding experience for new and returning players that builds up to the level 50 campaign. However, we are also a social game. We want folks to be able to play with their friends, and having that restriction could hinder veterans who would like to coach/teach new and returning players in full competitive environment. Don't want to create barriers there. All that being said, that is not to say there isn't a better way to approach this. This is just where we are right now. We're happy to take suggestions from for our teams and teams to chew on. I think they should keep it that way. Just keep Grey Host, remove the below 50, and Vengeance as a permanent option. Easy fix. So Vengeance would actually have some players for the below 50 players to fight against. Because if you're new to ESO and you go to below 50 campaign, and that's like your first experience of PP in ESO, and you see no one, it's just empty, barren wasteland all of the time. I can guarantee you, there's a lot of people who see that, and they quit ESO. They're like, oh, this game is dead. I go to WoW, I go to Guild Wars 2, there's no PvP in this game, it's dead. Because they only see the below 50 campaign. Now, to some degree, that's also true with Grey Host. It's dead a lot of the time, but below 50 is dead all the time. I don't think it should exist. I think it does more harm for ESO than good. And you get the same, like, equalized experience in Vengeance. And if you want, like, max level players to coach new players, they can do that in Grey Host. Like, sure, new players are at a disadvantage there, because they don't have passives and CPs and all of that, but they can still play with their friends, so that social experience exists. Below 50 has no purpose in the game. Like, I can't, like, similarly, as a like someone with 20 max level characters, I can't go to below 50 with my characters to play with someone who plays there. I can't go to below 50 to coach some new players. Like, I don't have that option, so I can use their own argument against them. They should remove below 50. It has no purpose whatsoever. It's outdated. It's a dead concept. Rewards, okay. There's only one question about rewards. Let's see what it is. Can the rewards for activity in serial and rank up be revised? Current situation is that the AP reward in Battlegrounds is higher and more stable than the average reward in serial. I don't know if this is true. I feel like you get more AP in serial still. Meanwhile, serial is much more time consuming and difficult. No, it's not. Time consuming perhaps, but it's definitely not more difficult than BGs. Just join a bulk group. Just zerg around. It's not like this is a common myth that BGs are easy and serials difficult. No. Far from it. Rank up also requires a lot of time, perseverance, and skill from the player. How does something require skill that is just a matter of how long or how much you play? That's ranking up in the PvP system at the moment. It's all about how much AP you generate. It never goes down. It doesn't matter how much you die. You don't even have to fight other players. You can flip empty keeps to gain AP. How is that requiring skill? Interesting question. Would be cool to give special collectibles for rank up that cannot be earned in any other way, like in PvE trials. One bear is not enough. Perhaps in order to earn these rewards, more players who currently have no incentive will begin to delve into PvP mode. Now, the essence of this question is alright. Like, Kate here is right about there not being enough rewards from Cyril. 100% right about that. There should be a seasonal structure, like I mentioned earlier. There should be a seasonal structure, there should be a new progression system which they're working on, separate from AP. And that currency should like reset every season. Not something that you can just stack up and, oh, I have 2 billion now, okay, I don't need to PvP anymore, ever. No, it should reset. Still, it won't be skill-based, but it would be better than right now. And if they can keep seasons and keep unique rewards each season, I can guarantee you I will eat my beard if I'm wrong. I will literally, I will eat it on stream if I'm wrong. There will be twice the amount of players in PvP. If you add a seasonal PvP mode with seasonal rewards. There are so many people who like collecting in MMOs, in RPGs in general. I'm one of them. There are so many people who like that. And previously they might have PvP'd in the past, they might have done a lot of serial in the past, or they might not just be interested in PvP because there's nothing behind it for them. If there was something behind it, there are so many players that would flood Cyrodiil immediately. That's something I've been saying for years. Tons of AP and nothing to spend it on. Yeah, my only reason for hoarding AP is to be AP billionaire one day. Why? Is there an achievement behind that? Is there a reason to gather 1 billion? No, it's just for the sake of it. Just for shits and giggles. There should be a reason, there should be some achievement, but there isn't. You know, how much is ESO Plus? I think it's, was it like 13 euros a month? You can subscribe 1 month at a time, but you unlock most of the game for 1 month, which means that you can do all of the like DLC dungeons, all of the zones. Kind of depends on how much you play per day or per month, but if you are someone who can, I think one chapter, if you do all the questing and stuff, that's maybe like 20 hours for a new player, I think. 20 hours per chapter, something like that. Maybe 20 to 30, something like that, for the chapters. So you can kind of think if it's worth it, or if it's worth buying the chapter and having permanent access to it. But usually I'd say ESO Plus is better value and more worth it than buying the chapters. Still don't have any character that's 50. Oh, PP rank 50. Yeah, you get a title for it. I have one. I have like hundreds of millions of AP, but also 20 characters. I got 50 on one, and what do I get for getting 50 on the others? Nothing, shits and giggles again. Atmoni, how you doing? How about rewards increasing your character's strength in actual PvP? People who play one character who don't go in Zergs, something to farm towards, like a new mount, seasonal cosmetic shit doesn't really improve gameplay a lot. Like actual. No, I get what you mean. I'm someone who likes just I like the vertical progression a lot. There's a lot of people who find it very like if it requires a lot of grinding. There's a lot of people who find it very off-putting as well. Kind of depends on what kind of grind it is. If it just farm a lot of AP, then I don't think a lot of people would like that. Like how it is designed at the moment. It kind of depends. I have my very personal views, of course. I like progression systems like in Windsmith, where you do all of the mini games and you run around the map and collect the oddities and you turn them into NPC and you unlock these little power boosts. I like that. I like exploring and collecting, but not everyone does. So it can be off-putting, but that's a good question. Should they do that? What they could do if they do seasonal model, they could unlock temporary boosts of power that you can buy in the seasonal shop or something that are not permanent. So you could, like, for Cyrodiil, because we're talking about Cyrodiil here, you could buy some, let's say, like, you could buy some wall and run kind of weapon that you get to keep until you die or something, and you can just absolutely demolish people with it. Or some siege weapon that you can run around with, and like some giga battering ram that's like simultaneously a ballista shooting at people. Like you can go crazy with that kind of stuff if it's temporary. Where is Kokra? Wasn't he streaming earlier? Tomato, how you doing? Hello. 3-piece PP sets, 1-piece PP set. Shit in PV, but good in PP. Oh, like new set? Yeah, new sets is something to farm. Yes, okay, I think I know what you mean. So stuff you would have to actually PvP for, not just stuff that's fine on equip and super easy to get. Once you have titles and rank, it's like nothing. They could do that, I think. They can make it like just best in slot for every build, I think. But having good sets tied to the PP rank, I think that would be fine. As long as they're not PV best in slot or for every build PV best in slot. If they're best in slot for some builds or some playstyles, I think that's fine. That gives people motivation to work towards them. But yeah, it kind of depends on the progression system behind it as well. We're always looking for ways to reward players for participating in the game content they love. Original intent for rewards of the Worthy was meant to be equal to that of PV rewards. As mentioned in one of the answers above, we are revisiting rewards for participating in PP content as part of a holistic PP progression system. Holistic? What does holistic mean? I'll have to admit, I'm not familiar with this word. What is holistic? Characterized by the belief that the parts of something are interconnected and can be explained only by reference to the whole. I have no more questions than answers. Great. That didn't help. Dealing with or treating the whole of something or someone, not just a part of. Holistic approach. Okay, so more in... I guess like more interconnected to the rest of the game. But it is already in many ways. You buy bots with AP. Okay, so the main problem with Rewards of the Worthy is that they're too easy to get. So the sets you get from Rewards of the Worthy, they're worth nothing. Like a lot of the things in the game, like overland sets and whatnot, they're worth nothing. They're too easy to farm. You can just buy them for free. They're not really they're not really the carrot at the end of a stick. They're just inconvenience that you have to vendor for a 17 gold. That's the problem. So actually rewards for the vertice should be more of a grind. Or it should be locked behind an entirely different rewards system than what they have at the moment. But they have something in mind. We'll hear about it next year. Probably in January, actually. Only like a couple of weeks. Okay, miscellaneous. PP is pleasantly but dauntingly complex. Part of a small community of veteran PPers on Xbox and A trying to help make PP more accessible to PVers and new players by teaching what we know. What else can or will be done, either in collaboration with the community or from ZeniMax's team, to demystify or help newer and returning PPers to learn PP? Okay, so this is something we would like to address in the future. Serial 101 streams, etc. To these new players, the ropes of fellow community members is something we want to cultivate over time. We love that there are players out there like you who enjoy teaching others aspects of ESO. Absolutely. Any PP questions? Happy to answer them here. I know a thing or two. Some kind of cosmetics, transmogs defined by classes, like Warden can farm towards one type of transmog. They have those in Infinite Archive. They have the class sets and you can farm the style pages for them. And you can only farm them. You cannot buy them in guild stores. You have to actually do the content to get them. But yeah, the problem with and here's why I think should be seasonal, is that once you get them, you're done. I have not been to Infinite Archive to farm something in well over a year, because they put out the content, they put out the rewards, and then they move on. They need to stop moving on, add some small rewards that you can farm towards, or make things harder to farm towards, make it more of an accomplishment, and make the reward actually reflect the accomplishment by being really cool. Stuff like that. Now everything is just pay to get skin, do achievement, any class looks the same, yep. They could, I think skill styles would be and are a really good way to incentivize doing content. There's a lot more they could do with that. Currently collaboration with some of our SOS community team and web team friends for Serial 101 type opportunities is the way to go. They do a great job of doing the community roundups and collaborating with creators to help amplify the hard work of people like yourself. If you're hosting an event that you'd like to amplify, we may also be able to help it give it a boost. Reach out via the forums or our official social media channels. So, event? I don't really do events. I just stream. I wonder what the Serial 101 refers to though. Because I've seen some videos that are like very like basic PP stuff, but it doesn't really teach anything for people who actually want to enjoy Serial. And then there's of course the build videos of very, very dubious build videos that are put out and stuff like that. So it might not actually help people always, but I guess the intention is good. Could we be able to mount the when in combat, but with no mount stamina, meaning any damage, even dots, will dismount you? No, that's part of the game. You get dismounted if you're out of mount stamina. Need to redo dozens upon dozens of animations. Also, the server having to keep up with combat while on mount is the main reason. Oh, so that's why there's no mounted combat. Or ways to mount up in combat. Being able to hit someone at an accelerated rate, have the server catch up, will create contact issues in combat. Add to overall performance degradation, as well as possible exploitable situations. Didn't hear you're not I did answer, but I think it's like 13 USD or euros, if I'm not mistaken. It should be good value. Kind of depends on how much you play. I think the chapters, if you buy them individually, they're like 20 to 30 hours worth of content for new players. Someone more experienced might be able to speedrun through it in like 10 hours probably for a full chapter, but I'd say like 20 to 30 hours. And ESO Plus gives you access to all of the previous chapters for a month. So if you play like 20 to 30 hours at least a month, then you probably should get more value out of ESO Plus. But it's 13 USD. Sorry for the long answer there, but there's a lot of things. Also, if you check the Crown Store in game, there's a lot of stuff you should absolutely not buy. These are just scams, not scams in the traditional sense, but I would not buy the soul gems and the repair kits and the vamp bites that's on the Crown Store. You can get this for free in game. They are absolutely not worth the crowns. So do not buy the consumables in the Crown Store, the XP scrolls and whatnot. Whatever you do, like these are big no. Okay. So because I see. Because of performance issues, they can't have mounting up in combat. But if they fix performance, then maybe someday. Would be nice. Have you considered updating the reward structure and the rank system in Zero? Would you consider adding new ranks after rank 50 so older PvP players have something to strive for? Yes, and they should increase the CP cap. CP cap's been 3600 for ages. Still early, so we can't share much right now. What we will say is you'll hear about some of our additional PvP plans early next year. Be able to test later in 2026. Okay. What we are working on is something we'll want the community's early input on, so keep an eye out for more detailed news next year. January 7th, most likely. Bank space, yes, also we get that from ESO Plus. I'm an only PvP player, they should add shit like that to PvP consistently. Keep people playing, get people from PV to PvP. Would love to fight someone else than the usual names, 100%. 1000%. It's just lack of rewards that keeps people from PvPing. Whether it's BGs or Zero, I think people who PvP for the sake of PvP are like maybe not even 50% of the people you could have in PvP. I think the devs really underestimate the amount of collectors in this game. Like even just things like Golden Pursuits that locked that just locks the campaigns whenever there's PvP Golden Pursuits. Icy event is so fun. People from PV, yeah, exactly. When there's reason to do so, when there's rewards for doing it. Yeah, exactly. Perhaps the least real related issue, but reflective of it, should like to propose is the choice of guild alliance. Namely a token of sorts which may enable a guild to switch to a desired alliance. Figured that since we have an alliances token, similar things should exist for guilds as well. Why? Because this being my own particular case, created my guild long before I even considered joining PvP, just went with whatever character I had locked in at the time, completely disregarding that choice. Now is my alliance of choice is quite another. I like to change anytime soon. Cannot in any way either disband the guild or recreate it. Nor am I happy with my noob 10 choice. Okay. No current plans to do this. We certainly look at allowing guilds to change the alliance affiliation. Or do we want to stress if this is something we do in the future? There will need to be some limitations such as a lengthy cooldown to prevent issues with alliance spying and exploiting. Look into it. Okay. Don't really have an opinion about this. Trying to introduce more PvE elements with very strong bosses in Zordel, significantly increase the difficulty and change the reward for closing dolmens specifically in Zordel. For example, some very valuable currency like Telvar. Assume that this would lead to the emergence of new points of confrontation between sides and would motivate to explore the map outside the transit lines between the castles. 100% would be a good thing. It's gonna be performance, yeah, performance mentioned. This is the only reason why they don't do that, I think. There could be so much more to Cyrodiil if the performance allowed that. Consider this. 2014, they introduced Cyrodiil. Since 2014, 11 years ago, what have they added to Cyrodiil? They've added like a couple of outposts, like Karmala and like the ones on the edges. They've added Volendrung, and that's it. They've taken away a lot of NPCs, critters. I think they've taken away more stuff from Cyrodiil than they've added. And that is because the game just doesn't support that performance-wise. It's been the same since 11 years ago. I would love to do so. Would need to measure this against Zero server performance. With the Vengeance campaign being in a more optimal place performance-wise, it is a better candidate. But all serial campaigns share the same world space. This one is a maybe. I will let the community know if it's something we move forward with testing. Wait, what does this mean? All serial campaigns share the same world space. Do they mean that they cannot change one campaign without changing the other? Because imagine if they could do this. You could have bosses that drop unique stuff when you kill them. Some like world boss events in Cyrodiil that people could compete over. So you'd get good rewards like outfit styles and unique stuff that you cannot sell, hopefully. Just buy and pick up. And on top of that, when you kill the boss would fight for your alliance. The boss would like run to nearest enemy keep and start smashing the walls, and the opponent faction would have to kill him with like ballistas and whatnot. That'd be so cool. But performance. Can't do Unlucky. Doesn't need more PvP elements. No, it does kind of need those kind of elements, I think. I would enjoy those, because the map is completely empty. There's nothing going on in between the keeps. There's like one fight on the map, and that's it. If there were more waves, something that keeps the campaign alive, that would not be a bad thing. Zero doesn't need more PvP elements that are static, that have nothing to do with PvP. I think there's enough of those. But if there was a PvP effect to doing a PvE element, then what you're looking at is content that's PvX. It's more like doing the Drake in League or the Baron. Baron's probably a better example. It's more of a like PvP concept than PvE. Or got the hammer to destroy walls. Yeah, well, it's like what once every 4 hours or 5 hours, something like that. But I think it would be cool to have more objectives around the map, more reasons to go somewhere else than that one keep with the bulk group. Would be built in Guild Wars 2. I never really played that. Also, what's Togan and one-sided? Hello. Time to group fight at Baron. Yeah, like imagine you had that in ESO, but it was like a world boss, and if your faction gets the most damage on the boss or something, then it just runs to the nearest keep and starts wrecking it. PvE elements in a PvP zone. Yeah, I think ZOS would have done that years ago if the performance allowed it in Cyrodiil. These are things that they probably would have added to the game. But instead, what we have is just this static environment where everyone just stacks in one spot because they only fight on the map, and there's bulk groups around, and it's just a fucked up experience instead of a fun one. But they could do that in Vengeance, possibly, if they can find a way to not share the same world space as they right here. They could do stuff like that. Also, Govedo, how you doing? Have to learn how to rotate properly. Yeah, just like not stack in one area of the map. Like, I hate that kind of shit. Like where the whole map is empty. Like there's nothing happening except on one spot. It's a surgy, laggy bullcrop mess. Is that this to PvE to get control of the map? Gets people to fight each other. Yeah, that's good. That kind of stuff is good, I think. And there should be, like, that's just on a large scale, right? that idea of the world boss that you could do. That's a large scale idea. You could have small scale objectives as well for solo PvPers or like smaller groups around the map that impact the PvP. Would be like worth fighting over for PvPers. That'd be interesting. Bosses in Icy, no one cares a damn about them. Yeah, because that's not really like... Icy is not about the siege warfare. It doesn't really impact the PvP at all. People kill the bosses to get Telvars. That's it, but the boss doesn't... it doesn't capture the flags in Icy, not that the flags matter. It doesn't start fighting on your side or anything after you kill it. It's just a PvE objective, and only PvE objective. But when you give these boss fights a PvP purpose, you change the whole idea basically. Guild Wars 2 has actual reward system, which the ice is empty because there's no reason to do it. Yeah, that's we talked about that earlier, but the reward structure or lack of rewards is another thing entirely. Guild Wars 2 has a system where you never have to do PvE. You can choose what rewards from PvE you get from PvP. Yeah, I played a little bit of Guild Wars 2. I played arenas mostly, of the battlegrounds. Those were fun. I think it's a good game. Movement speed increase in Cyrodiil are causing severe issues with targeting and rendering. Are there any plans to reduce speed via Battle Spirit, otherwise address the targeting issues? If Cyrodiil wasn't so fucking big and so empty, like sure, you could talk about this, but we have ongoing discussions about utilizing Battle Spirit to slow down in-combat or in-combat player speed. In Cyrodiil and Imperial City would only be while in combat. It's in the exploration phase, so we don't currently have any additional detail to share. You know what I read when I read this? Streak buff. This is a Stormcalling buff. Any nerf to move speed is always going to be a buff to Streak. They might want to be a little careful about that. But it's good that they mention in combat, because you don't want to spend even more time traveling through empty land to some keep just to get shocked down by a bow group. How Deadly Set became meta and PvE started trying to make us PvP. They never had to PvP though. And they never changed Deadly away from PvP. I still run it on my Arcanist. So it's good that they didn't listen to those crybabies. Because that's the exact wrong crowd to listen to. Where like, they always had the option to just buy the gear, right? So with the idea about the bosses that would like fight for your faction after you kill them, you don't have to do them. Like you could PvP somewhere else, just around the keep or around the resource. Like this is just something that is an alternative to being in one spot on the map. And they could maybe do it in Vengeance. They could maybe do it in the new smaller scale PvP zone, if the performance allows that. Could be interesting, I think. When new features are introduced, such as Armory and Scribing, Cyrodiil often feels like an afterthought. Stations not being added, etc. Is the reason for this due to complexity of the zone, or is it some other reason? I don't think it's complexity. How complex is it to add a crafting station in the base area? It took almost a year to get an Armory station in Cyrodiil. True. To be clear, the main concern about performance hits is the singular reason why items introduced in the rest of the game are not added into Cyrodiil. Ironically, its performance being in the forefront rather than an afterthought. Okay. So even adding an armory station causes performance issues. Determine that these systems do or do not have a significant overhead. Look to add them back into PvP zones. Okay. I can live with that explanation. Does the team feel that faction locks are still beneficial considering the current population? Yes, we still believe they are beneficial. Faction locks help reinforce alliance identity and the social aspect of the game. They're more of a social reinforcement rather than a technical issue. Population really isn't a factor here, with the exception of cutting down on spying and strengthening the social contact among active players. Okay, I don't really have an opinion about this. Usually if I play Cyrodiil, it's only for a couple days. And I don't need to play more than one faction. It doesn't really impact me, but there's a lot of different opinions on this topic. Destructible objects were introduced for the bridge and mile gates, whilst resource towers were removed in the name of performance. Would the team consider changing either of these back to the original versions to freshen up the map? Perhaps on a 3-month rotation, for example. Sure, it's something we could consider. Would need to be one or the other, but we could talk about a rotation. So you could have a rotation where you can destroy the bridges and another one where you can destroy the resources. Interesting. Memory issues leading to performance degradation are still a factor, but something we could chat about, seeing how far we could push things while still ensuring a performance experience. Okay. Fair enough, fair enough. Have you considered that not the skills, but other things lead to poor performance? For example, certain server-side updates which lead to big performance regressions. Even if you run around alone in Cyrodiil, running can be slowed down, or riding on your mount can be sluggish and get slowdowns without anyone being near. It doesn't matter, like, it's the server that's lagging. The server's gonna lag if there's a bulk group fighting somewhere on the other side. It doesn't matter that you're far away from it. We've considered and tested what contributes to game performance impact and have looked at the various things, including physics processes, things that control destructible states on keeps and such, looked into collections, outfit stations, quests, inventory, etc. Everything pales in comparison to ability usage combined with passives. Includes items at CP and skill line passives. Which is why they were the focus of our Vengeance test. Yeah. Pretty much. I think John here doesn't know how server-side and client-side calculations work. Because, like, it's not just Cyrodiil that lags. If that part of the whole server cluster running the servers, all the servers for ESO lags, it's gonna impact the other ones as well. So even PvE will feel more laggy during prime time. Even like trials and BGs and everything in the game is gonna be affected either by a small amount or by a large amount when Cyrodiil is lagging. Plan to fix Worm Drunk spawning. There are so many spawn points over the map, but only spawns in the same 3 spawn points for every alliance, which leads to people going to them right away. Why isn't this really random? Good question. We plan to address the respawn logic as we have time, looking at the location where players and the Emperor are, keep ownership statuses, recent combatant locations, and how all of that contributes to where Worm Drunk spawns. I think they should add more things like Worm Drunk. That's one of those things that, and the spawn should be random, but that's one of those things that kind of encourage people to fight somewhere else than in the keep where you fought for 11 years. I think these things should spawn in like delves, for example. Maybe not Volendrunk, they can keep Volendrunk spawning around the camps with the Golden Saints, right? But they could add more mythics like Volendrunk, or mythics, what do you call it, artifacts, Daedric artifacts. But they could make those spawn in the like delves, for example. So everyone would run to the delve and you'd have PvP in the delve. That'd be cool. Some of my fondest memories of PvP in ESO have been when they released CP system. Best way to farm CPs back in the days was Crackwood Cave, located in Cyrodiil, next to Cropswood, for those who don't know it. That was best XP spot back in the days. You would run around killing the goblins all day long, spamming spin to win, because there was no cap on CPs back then. It would just give you more power as you farmed. So naturally, as a competitive player, I would be there 10 plus hours a day. And I would have, like, if someone from my own alliance came there and stole my goblins, I would log on my DK, and I would one-shot them with a heavy attack. Because back then you could do that. Because you had CPs for heavy attack damage and no cap on CPs, and I had a lot more CPs, so I could just park my DK in a little wooden house inside the delve. There's like a hard to get into place. And I would Inferno heavy, and problem solved. I would log back on my Nightblade and go back to spamming Spin to Win with Vicious Ophidian, which was best farming set back then, because you got more stamina from each skill and more speed, so you could just zoom around killing goblins. That was actually some of the best PP I've had, fighting over that grind spot. Some of the best PP I've ever had in ESO. Because there was a purpose behind it. So if there was more PvP with more purpose behind it, like some Daedric artifacts spawning like every, let's say, 4 hours or 3 hours, some different form from Volendrang, in a random delve, for example, that'd be cool. As long as it's random, as long as people can't predict which one. So like there's no one who's there already waiting for it, and they just yoink it, and they leave before anyone arrives there. That'd be cool, I think. Like stuff like that would make Cyrodiil a lot more interesting. And then if you get the mythic, like let's say you get the you get like some bow mythic, you would get some really OP ranged abilities and maybe some mobility skill lets you zoom around and have fun in a different way. That'd be cool. Not a PvP player, are there any plans to have a version of Cyrodiil that PvE geeks can come and visit and do silly little quests without getting our innards polymorphed into outards? They can do that. They can PvE in Cyrodiil. It's just that you can actually PvP in this one zone out of the... How many zones is there in ESO? I've lost count. There's probably like close to 100 zones. One of them has PvP. But no. No. That must be PvE as well. There are no plans for PvE version of Cyrodiil at this time, thank God. There should be a reason for players to experience different types of content. It's an MMO. It is not a single player RPG. Like if there is a zone that requires you to PvP or has the danger of PvP, that's the name of the game. That's how it's supposed to be. Just like if there is a trial set that I want, I am supposed to go into a trial with 11 other people and from that set. I see nothing wrong with that. And I'm mostly a PvPer. If there is a dungeon that has a good set, I do the dungeon. I don't complain that, oh, I cannot kill players in this dungeon, even though sometimes I would like to. Like, I really don't get this. Why do they want everything to be tailored specifically around them, these players? Why? Is it possible to increase drop rate of Cyrodiil cakes? They are simply impossible to find. Is this the Cyrodiil? This is the Cyrodiil one, not the BG one. The BG one is non-existent. It doesn't exist. I've played BGs, thousands of BGs, tens of thousands of BGs since 2017. I've never seen the recipe for the 150% AP buff. It has never dropped for me. Did revisit this when we did two-side balcons in update 44. Still hasn't been a concern in the later months of 2025. Please let us know and we can investigate this in early 2026. So this is about the BG cake. I thought it was about Cyrodiil and Icy. They talk about BGs here. The BG cake doesn't exist. I wish I could buy the BG cake for 100 million AP. They should add it on like for some ridiculous price. Just to remove the ridiculous RNG. Make it a ridiculous grind, but not an annoying grind, where you just feel unlucky all the time. They should do that. Easy solution, I think. Just make it 100 million AP, not like 1 million or some joke like that. Actually, they should make it 180 million AP, specifically that. I could get rid of all my AP. Do you have understanding, notes, or insight in what add-ons that are private, non-official, and used in PvP? Who asked this question? ED News. I don't know this person. Do you have plans to monitor or limit the behavior of such add-ons? I'd like to provide a bit on our philosophy before answering this question. From a technical sense, in our perspective, there is no such thing as private or unofficial mode. All modes are technically unofficial, since we don't have a verification process. No, in the sense that a private add-on is something that someone made and didn't post for wider distribution. We do have a way to keep track of those by user. However, that does not give a clear indicator of what every add-on does. Isn't it funny? Like, you can have an add-on that... Actually, no, I don't wanna throw anyone under the bus. That's a dick move. There are add-ons that do shady stuff. And there's ways to combine that shady stuff with other shady stuff, and then you have something in the game that shouldn't exist. We go by reports and behaviors. So if we see behavior that shouldn't be possible, or a user reports that an add-on someone built is suspected of allowing for actions or behaviors that violate our terms of service, we investigate, close any API loopholes we find, and ban anyone caught exploiting. To be fair, the add-on community is rather good at self-managing an instance like this. How can they be? There are add-ons that are not posted online. The add-on community has no idea about them, because they're kept out of the loop. They would rather sell it among themselves without our intervention, as that could lead to everyone unintentionally losing more tools in their creative toolkit. If you see instances where someone is exploiting through add-on usage, please report it to us so we can properly investigate and reduce the harm done. I don't want to get anyone in trouble, but I would like to... I don't like knowing that this exists. I'll need to figure that out. Can the healers please create credit for assists? After all, we gave up. BT part of me is reading this, and I want to punch the wall right now. Can healers please get credit for assists? Oh, it's about the kill credits. Okay, thank God. I was thinking credit in BGs, because that's a different story. After all, we gave up a lot in order that our friends can continue further and take out the people trying to kill us. I may not like the guy, still feel like I contribute to my team's success. Healing gets no credit is pretty disappointing. You get AP for healing people, so that's not exactly true. It's not like there's a kill or assist... This is why I was confused, because there's no kill or assist indicator in Sodil anyway. So am I missing something? Or is it about battlegrounds? Because holy fuck, it's about battlegrounds. Who is this retard? Can healers please get... Don't you get enough credit for getting the crit healing medals, having fucking triple the score of anyone else in the BG? Why do healers ask for more? I get it. You should give people... Sure, give them assists, but take away the fucking healing medals. It's a fucking joke. Like, healers get the most credit by a mile out of anyone doing BGs right now. Or ever. Like, it's always been like that. Regarding background medals, we do plan to revisit these for heal assists. Thank you. I hope to nerf them, not to buff them. We intend to look at our timelines and see where we can add it in. Do you want to revisit this? If this is for a quest credit, that gets into revisiting quest conditions and requires a bit more in-depth adjustment. Okay, so BG medal score, they should completely just... I think they should remove the system. I think medal score is just either remove it or completely rework it. But I think they should move to a MMR system that factors in whether you win or lose. If you lose MMR. If you win MMR. It takes into account your teammates' MMR. And if your teammates have low MMR and you lose, then you lose less points. If they have high MMR and you lose, then you lose more points. And vice versa for winning. I think this is a very, very easy way of rewarding people. You should also see like the healing number, damage taken number. Like all of these would be visible on the scoreboard. you could maybe vote for like MVP or something like that. Teammates could vote, and you would get something out of that. You know, like crazy ideas. No game has ever done this before. They could just do that, and it would be way better than the current medal score system. Especially if you can actually lose MMR. Especially if the MMR is actually visible. Because all of this healing, like medal scores, like they matter nothing. They don't matter at all. It's just about how much you play, how much you farm if you look at the leaderboard. It's not about how well you play. It's not about if you win or not. It's not about if you die or get kills. Like, none of that matters. They're completely meaningless. And currently people cheese the medal score by playing healers. Because every critical kill, every heal that is above 7.5k in deathmatches gets you a medal vote at 100 points. You can guess 2 times if you, or you can guess once if you get 7.5k points for dealing 7.5k damage, for instance. No, you don't. You don't get that. You don't get anything. I think there's a medal for crushing blow for doing like 15k damage, but it's worth like 5 points or something like that. So it's a complete nonsense garbage system at the moment. It should be completely reworked or removed. There's no prestige behind it, no point behind it. And then I'm fine, by the way, giving healers assists. I think that's fine. I play healers too sometimes. It's kind of boring to see like, oh, you did 0 kills and you died 0 times and you did 0 assists. Oh, but you have top score. Like, no. I think you should get assist as a healer, but the medal scores need to work differently. And being healer shouldn't automatically mean that you get best score. There should also be more counters to healers. And the matchmaking should be better. Like, shouldn't be 2 healers in one team and 0 in the other and so on. But anyway, there's a lot to change with BGs. I could yap about that for hours. But I need to get food. I don't have hours. Let's use streaming. It's enough yapping. That wound up taking a little bit longer than I thought. Who could we raid? America's got a lot of viewers. Could raid Akinos. Play some Cyrodiil. Okay. Thanks for that. Enjoy Akinos stream. I'll be back maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll do an extra stream tomorrow because we still have the drops. I think drops are gone on Monday. If I'm not mistaken, but enjoy Akinos stream. Thanks for that. And see you all next time. There's the socials, website, YouTube, Discord, Twitter, all linked there. I posted a new video on YouTube. For those who didn't see it yet, they did a end of year letter. I kind of went over it the last stream, and that whole yapping session is on YouTube. For those who didn't see it yet, I'm gonna link the video. So that video is here. But anyway, I'll update Werewolf, or try to update after stream, and it's actually kind of fast. I just need to change the skill line. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, most likely. Have a good one. Until next time, bye.